Testing, testing. Hold on. I think I have to change the bit rate or something. BRB.
We've come to the finale, so thank you for making it this far. Now, let me share a thrilling wildlife encounter that I filmed between a herd of muddy buffaloes and a pride of curious lion cubs. They faced off in a breathtaking standoff. The beauty of being in the wild is its unpredictability. You just soak it all in and enjoy whatever comes your way. So, with that, please enjoy.
Well, 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 hopefully Christ is with me today. Jesus. Hail Marys and all that. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I am currently only streaming to YouTube and Twitch. Oh, hey, what's up, Nala? Yo, look at Nala over here. She's doing her little pose. Wait, let me switch over. I don't even know if I'm streaming right now, guys. I switched over from the restream that I was always using, and now we're trying out AITM. AITM. Oh, is it working? Oh, nice, nice. And hopefully the lag isn't too bad. Nico, I just saw you said top. Hello, Kristen. Hello, everyone. Yo, thank you guys for being here. My OBS crashed, and yeah, look at this awesome cat. It almost looks like she has a heart shape in there. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. If things crash, well, hopefully it doesn't. You know what? Let's not even bring that up. It's not going to crash. Things are going to be good. But I did switch over to AITM, and I've heard of this before. And so thank you. I think Photolite might have been the one who suggested this. It kind of refreshed for me that maybe it's time to check it out. Because yesterday, was it yesterday? When I did my last stream, you guys would have noticed at one point I was delayed by over 5 minutes, and my stream crashed. It was just a nightmare, and I've been dealing with this for over a month. So I said, let's try out this AITM. However, I barely watched a tutorial video, and I'm just kind of going live and hoping for the best. So fingers crossed here. So I see, for instance, I think L, thank you very much, L. You were saying something before my OBS crashed. I think you were saying about, actually, I don't remember. Christ. Let's see. L says, got that lens adapted into my camera. Ooh, interesting. Did you share this in the Discord? I'll pop it up if everything goes smoothly. And then thank you, Nico, for being in here earlier as I was in between crashing my freaking computer. I think I have to change the bit. Oh, that's me. Ha, I'm reading my own message. But it's kind of cool. Basically in OBS now, I have like a little chat and activity thing next to each other. So hopefully it'll streamline a bit more of my process. You're streaming. Hi, pretty girl. Yes. Look at her. Oh, look at her. She was sleeping next to me for the longest time. So now my voice is super loud in her ears probably. And she's like, what the hell, man? Time to unbox my softbox I just got. Sent a pic in Discord. Ooh, let's check this out. But yeah, welcome guys. And welcome, Kristen. I think, yeah, I think you sent me something earlier tonight. Everything's just been a little bit hectic for me in the past few days. But thanks, Kristen, for being here. Yes, I do hope, this is a big hope right now, is that now that I've switched over from AITM to... now that I switched to the AITM thing. Yo, low bass. Thank you very much for the 4th month. Wow. Wow, look at that. Just for you. My cat's just showing her ass. And she's walking away now. Low bass, thank you very much for resubbing to that tier 1 subscription on Twitch. Hells yeah. We're making a little bit of money here and there, you know? Yeah, shout out to Low Bass. Low Bass, just as an FYI, I was just mentioning, I switched over in terms of my multi-streaming solution. So instead of using Restream, I'm trying out AITM. And I'm kind of annoyed by the name because I don't know how to pronounce it. AITM. So as part of that, I don't know if I messed up a bunch of things. For instance, I can see myself talking right now in the OBS, but it looks like I'm a bit delayed in, yeah. I don't know if, hopefully you guys can let me know if there's some issue. Okay, I'm about to crash my OBS again. Okay, I gotta leave things alone over on the screen here. What's up, Fed? Fedorevsky's in the chat. Hello, Fed. Yo, we've met some really cool people in your absence who are also like in the film world. Yeah, hopefully some of them will pop back in today. Yeah, Swiss Army Cinema, who's also getting... Wait, did he say he's getting a ZR? I forget. There's a few other people getting some ZRs. I thought I would get my ZR today. I'll be getting it tomorrow, I think, so... Low Bass says, seems mostly okay now. Well, thank you very much. So Low Bass, I just saw your message. So in terms of latency, let me know if that was like super delayed. Oh, I like the cat emotes. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping the freaking latency issue that I've been having for quite some time will be resolved. Hopefully there's no weird stagger or delayed effect between when you're seeing the visual versus the audio. Just a bunch of hopes and stuff like that. Hopes and dreams are riding on this stream. We are on day 92. So what's up, BC? Thank you guys for being here. You know what? Is it high time? Should I hit the stream button for a kick? Because when I went live earlier, I hit all 3, and then all of a sudden my OBS crashed. So you know what? Let's go ahead and try it. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, as they say. Okay, so I just hit this button under output for kick stream. So I don't know. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm seeing that little loading sign show up on my OBS again. Chat delay isn't bad right now. It's a very short gap between when I send a message and when it appears on screen. Okay. Well, maybe you can help me with something else. Or, okay, hold on, let me see. So I hit the button to try to stream on Kick. And all that's happened is now my OBS is crashing. Or now it's kind of in this, like, infinite buffering sign. That's what happened before. What to do? All right, maybe I'll just have to... Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to force quit OBS, reopen it again, and hopefully in the time it takes me to reopen OBS, I will get back live so that it doesn't cut the stream and restart it. I think that's the only hope. Before that, I do that, though. I see here, Fed, you said, I'm still waiting for my ZR. Okay, well, fingers crossed we both get it soon. Unfortunately, like I said, God. Life is just never easy, you know? It's always got to have a bit of a challenge. Which I guess, you know what? That's the way it should be. So, I shouldn't really complain. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and force quit this. And... Alright, are we back? Am I alive? Except for on Kick. Let me check on the Twitch side. Alright, let me wave my hand real quick and see how long the delay is. Okay. Whoa, dude, it's not bad. I think that was like maybe 5-6 seconds, which is like, for me, that's a huge win. That's a dub. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that means for now, until I can figure out how to get the Kick thing working, we're just gonna go with YouTube and Twitch. Did I miss a few things? Let me resize this so I can see the chat better. Low Bass says my advice would be let Kick go. Let it go. I'm not ready just yet. Listen, it's hard for me to let things go. It's not in my nature to give up, I swear. Okay, let me just catch up on some of the chats because obviously I crashed. So what do we miss here? So Fed said he's waiting for the ZR. Chat delay isn't too bad. BC doing his heist. I don't know if he won. And Kristen saying, I'm eating beef ramen and finally doing my dependent adult abuse mandatory reporter training. Oh, that's the thing you mentioned before, right? The dependent adult abuse mandatory reporter training. Is there not a shorter way for people to say that training course? DAAMRT. The damn training. You've been procrastinating? I hear you on that one. Well, hopefully you pass. I don't know how difficult it is. You don't really have to pay much attention to it since I have ongoing training on the subject all the time. Gotcha. Okay. Were we ever here in the first place? Asked Low Bass. Yeah, none of this is real. And L thing is back. Okay, I'm caught up. Thank you guys for bearing with me. So, like I said, we made a few changes on today's... for today. Mainly just... I'm trying to fix the consistent issue that I've been dealing with the lag, the internet latency, the disconnects. So shout out to Photo Elite, unless this doesn't work, and then I will rescind my shout out. But Photo Elite had reminded me I should try out AI Tum, which I'd heard of before. It's just I put it off for a while. I just went with Restream, and now we'll see. And maybe I'll have to let Kick go. And there's probably some reason. There's probably like an easy solution to getting this fixed, but we'll find out. And again, thank you, Low Base, for the resub on the Twitch side. I very much thank you for that. I thank you a long time. Okay, so let me see if everything else is working. What do I need to open up? We need to open up client shoots, Chimp Island. Okay. Testing over here as we go over to the editing scene. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Hopefully this looks good. Oh, you know, I did make an update to the editing scene, I think. So, where do you see it? On the bottom left, it's just a static thing until I can figure out. I know I've seen some people's streams, they have really cool animated functions where, you know, like a QR code will, like, you know, animate into the stream. For now, I just created some static images of my social media icons. So you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. I don't know if that's the proper ordering of things, but there I am. So feel free to, you know, follow me on any of those. And then, yeah, I mentioned before, unfortunately with musicbed, so I am going to keep using musicbed for my YouTube projects. However, it looks like I can't get around the copyright issue for playing it on live streams. It seems like because of the licensing situation that they have, like they use a lot of real artists, right? It's not like people who just do stock music. So the licensing is a lot more strict, especially on the YouTube side. So unfortunately, that means for me, when I play any of the musicbed, it's like a per project basis. So I would have to keep issuing licenses for every time I live stream. So basically, long story short, it's already too long anyways. I'm not going to be able to listen to musicbed on my live streams, but I will absolutely be using them for my upcoming project. So look out for that. I was like, hey, why is my background so dark? Right? Because it's like pitch black behind me. And so I was like, oh man, maybe the light, maybe it got disconnected or unplugged or something. It's just my cat is literally sitting right in front of the light source, so she's just pitch blacking it. Listen, you know, the cats do what they want to do. And here's Kimpop. At least he's just chilling, so what a good boy. So yeah, I was super excited that I would be able to get the Nikon ZR picked up today. So then I was absolutely planning to swap over the cameras, so then even Kimpop over here would get a professional camera look and feel. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I might not be able to stream tomorrow. I have a bunch of appointments and engagements. But yeah, at least keep that in mind. The next time you guys see me streaming, we're going to have freaking 3 Nikon cameras, all professional gear, all, you know, overkill for everything. So yeah. Low Base, you said, oh, sorry, Fed, you said, I have copyright notices on every video I do on YouTube. The music is all free to use stuff, but I still get a notification. But the info on it tells me I don't have to take any action. Yeah, it's not necessarily like I'm... there's a difference, I guess, between the copyright claims and a copyright strike. So I'm not getting copyright struck. So maybe I need to be clear with my my language. But yeah, I get what you're talking... I get the same messages about like, hey, you know, the stream has been blah, blah, blah. And I guess technically I could just keep doing that. All it does is it turns off the monetization of the stream. But I'm a small channel, so like every penny counts, right? So every live stream, I would rather not, you know, shut myself off from every, you know, few bucks that come through from the monetization, especially long term, you know, that's the hope. So if I can avoid it, I'll try to avoid it, essentially. But yeah, it's the same thing that I get. Low Base, he said Pretzel Rocks handles stream safe music better than anyone. There's even a toggle switch for YouTube safe. I think Photo Elite and Maple, I remember watching a video from Maple Glades in his Discord community where he did a really good job of breaking down how in OBS you could, I guess, like create 2 tracks so that whatever becomes your VOD will not have whatever you play on stream. So that is technically an option because it seems like musicbed doesn't get Twitch and Kick don't seem to deal with the same issues as YouTube does. So maybe that is an option to somehow run a different type of music or no music on the YouTube side. I have no idea. But yeah, these are things I need to kind of jot down and figure out if it's worth pursuing. Fed says, yeah, they tell you about pretty much any music since free to use music is also copyrighted. Yeah, I got burned by them thinking I could use free music and then I still got hit. So, God, it's so annoying. I think some streamers, I think I saw someone who's big mention like they're not going to go on YouTube streams, or they're just going on Twitch. And one of the big reasons was because of the annoying copyright situation. So Low Bay says you have to pay attention to the licensing for stream music. The license to play live music and have it on pre-recorded video are separate licenses. Yeah, I realize that, but it seems like it just depends if they recognize your channel or if it gets caught in the system or not. So far, I've been okay with the other music I play. It was just that musicbed seems to be absolutely 10,000% more strict. And to be fair, it's not musicbed themselves. I think it's, or actually I have no idea what's on the back end. But like I said, a lot of the musicians that are part of musicbed are like, it sounds weird to say actual musicians, but yeah, they're the kinds of artists you would find on Spotify and all the other places. So I guess they have a bit more robust, managing system that, tracks this kind of stuff. You can't use the free music and claim you made it, for example, but still free to use. Yeah. So like I said, there's a few changes I made recently to kind of avoid some of those things. But listen, few updates, few good things, few bad things. So one of the good things, hopefully, is this switch to ATEM. So hopefully there isn't such a bad lag in the stream. Like I said, though, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a pause to Kick for now until I can figure out what's causing the issue. Okay, so with that in mind, also, if for some reason I miss one of you guys' messages or the activity feed kind of breaks down, just bear in mind it might be the switch that I did to the ATEM. It's the artists who decide what kind of license they want on any given piece of music they offer. Gotcha. So I'll blame the artist then. Those freaking bastards, right? In my opinion, I'm like, yo, wouldn't you want... I mean, I'm not big enough to be quote-unquote influencer, right? But it's like, hey, wouldn't you want someone that's like playing your music? As long as they're like showing... Like I was wanting to create, like, use one of the music widgets where you see like the artist name and all that while it's playing. But anyways, it is what it is. What are we doing today? So today's stream, I will probably stream for the next 2 to 3 hours. I'm putting together a pitch deck, right? So I'm putting a pitch deck for a potential project that I'm trying to pitch. Therefore, it's called a pitch deck. So it's been a while since I put a deck together, since my corporate days. So I'm putting a deck together. I'm doing a pitch fairly soon. So I need to spend the rest of the evening after today's stream to kind of wrap things up, if you will. But yeah, listen, your boy's trying to be productive. Your boy's trying to be ambitious and try to make next year even cooler, right? So for all you guys who stick around and have supported me, yeah, I don't want to let you guys down, right? So I'm trying my best to put myself out there and try to do some fun stuff out in the world. So, Fed, you said, oh, hold on, I missed a big chat. Some popular streamers will tell you you can play whatever you want so long as it doesn't appear in your VOD, and that's technically not legally accurate. The only deals with the recorded video licensing issue, not the live streaming issue. The people who tell you that are banking on never being... Yeah, I figure there's like a gray zone, right? I feel like live streaming is still kind of in that interesting world of like nobody's caught on yet while everyone's caught on, right? So it's like I think... I'm a millennial, but I would still put myself in the category of probably not a young person anymore, unfortunately. What happened recently? Was it this morning or the other day? I think I yawned too hard and I pulled a muscle in my neck. So that's one of those moments when you realize like, oh, gone are the days where I can be like, yeah. But yeah, so I guess for like the old generation, people in corporate, whatever, I imagine they don't really understand the world of live streaming. Whereas the new generations, obviously, they live in it. So yeah, I'm assuming this kind of music thing is one of those that kind of skates by and you hope that you never get caught. So So given that it's not super hard to do the right thing, just do the right thing. It's really important to have unlicensed, unlicensed music on your stream. Yeah, like I would like to follow the rules, right? I pay the money, I pay my dues, right, for whatever services. Generally speaking, you won't find me being one of the individuals that tries to cut corners for anything or not support people if like monetarily for their work, you know. But yeah, it's just this whole area is so complicated. I can never like this was also a good learning curve for me in terms of like having conversations with musicbed, trying to figure out what causes these copyright claims to come through, not realizing the difference between like licensing or like having to license per project, which means technically every live stream is a project. So like, yeah, I'm also learning about the struggles, but yeah, we'll see. But that's also one of the things I like about musicbed is that they're clearly doing things the right way, right? The quality of their artists on their platform are much higher, but it's also because they vet much better and they are more robust in terms of like following those rules. So Veggie said, when I download, there are artists who have like 3 to 4 different licenses depending on each piece. So it can be really arduous when downloading and picking pieces. Gotcha. It isn't a gray zone at all. I mean, it's a gray zone to me, I guess is what I'm saying. Sending a pic in Discord. Oh, yeah. Sorry, L. I was supposed to check out. You said, was it a softbox that you got? Hold on. Let's go to my Discord. Wait, who sent this one? Hold on. Copy link. Who sent this one? I don't know why, but on my Discord, it doesn't show me the username of who sent this. I'm going to assume it was you, L. Ooh, and we have Primal Nation had sent a photo. Was that recently? Oh, a few days ago. My bad. And Obi-Wan Shinobi had sent some photos as well. Yo, why did it take me so long to download that? Look at that Canon. Oh, this is that lens. Sorry, I'm like refreshing myself. So this is that lens that you had purchased. Did you say it was like $90 or something? I forget. But it's like that pancake lens style. Interesting. Well, show us some shots if you've got them. It looks nice though. Very vintage. Okay. Let me just make sure everything else is fine. Yes. All right, here we go. So now we're going to crack on with some work. Now, there's a few things I was trying to do yesterday, and obviously we ran out of time, or my connection got so bad that I had to end the stream. So one of them is that I was redoing my power grade so that it's kind of up to standard with some of our key learnings. So one of those learnings was that I wanted to split dehancer into 2. So basically I would have one dehancer that I could just kind of toggle on and off. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. We'd have one that we can toggle on and off. Let me turn these guys off. What the hell? Come on. To turn on and off like the film effects. So, sorry, the texture effects. So like the film grain, the halation. Let me turn off the noise reduction. Film grain, halation, and bloom. So let me turn these on now. And then the vignette, I thought maybe what I'll do is, should that be a third one? Possibly. But the problem with vignette is like there's 2 ways you can do it. Fed, you said, oh, sorry, sending a... L says, not pancake, but I'll use it soon. Just got to do the concert tonight first before I relax and do manual lens work. Oh, yeah, L, by the way. Someone else in the chat the other day mentioned Typoc, the Typoc lens. And I was like, yo, what a coincidence, because they had reached out to me. So I'm going to hear back from that contact from Typoc. I don't know what kind of a collab is possible, but that'll be, if something comes of it, I'll definitely reach out to you, because I normally don't use these types of like third-party lenses or manual or Cine lenses and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting. Fed, you said you have got the twin cat cam set up. Yes. Yeah, Fed, it's been a while, yeah? So I also got a sign that's got my name on it. So someone I was close with a long time ago, I got to catch up with them, and they gave me this as a gift, which is so cool, right? One of the coolest things I've received as a gift. Super useful, too. Initially, I was going to put it behind me on the wall, but my head covers up that wall, so now we got it there. And it's now kind of acting as a nice little decoration. So imagine if my cat was chilling here. We'd have a nice little plug, if you will. And I have I have an Amazon. Oh yeah, Fed. See, we haven't lost the Amazon Kitty. So again, shout out to Fed for coming up with Amazon Kitty, because it turns out my cat Nala likes to sleep wherever the box is. So I put this here, and she started using it frequently. So, and then I was mentioning, once I get the ZR, then I'll be able to swap out this lens that I got for Kimbap. I'll be able to swap it out with the Z6 III. So basically what would happen is this camera here would become my ZR camera. So then I'll have some fun trying to figure out, can I actually do live streams using R3D NE codec with like a view assist? Can I put one of my LUTs on it? Which is definitely overkill, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what's possible. Then my cat camera here would become what I'm using for the stream. So this would be the Z6 III. Most likely with the 20, actually I don't know. Maybe I'll use like a 50mm lens, because I think I could put the camera far enough away. And then this guy I'm using is the Nikon Z9, which is absolutely overkill. And then I've got a 24-70 f2.8 lens, and it's currently set to 35mm. So 35 is perfect. So I'm actually trying to go ahead and buy a 35 1.2 to add into my toolkit, because I love it so much now. So yes, so that's all you've missed, Fed. Is I've also kind of cleaned up my live stream scene a bit more, and you know, we'll always keep making updates, obviously, but yeah, one of the things I want to do soon is like add a soundboard and do some more fun effects, things like that. Lobe says, yesterday the reptile park was going to close because of the cold, but decided to open solely because my mom and I showed up. Yo, nice. Do you think the people there were annoyed at you, or were they like happy because they had, you know, customers or people to hop through? They opened the park basically just for us and let us in for free because of Veterans Day. Oh, yeah. Happy Veterans Day. I forgot. I don't know any of the holidays. Amazon inbuilt, so Amazon Kitty's back. Exactly, Fed. We will never lose the Amazon Kitty. Yeah, and it fits nicely in the freaking bed, so. Lobe says, I don't typically advertise where I shoot, but Alligator Adventure, the AA, is one of the few places I'll mention by name because of how kind they are and supportive photographers. Yo, that's awesome of them. The Alligator Adventure. Yeah, I hopped on your stream that other day, Low Base, and that was really cool. Although I keep forgetting the difference between alligator and crocodile, but I'm assuming it was an alligator photo that you're editing, but it looked really cool, man. I like the lighting on it. Hey, someone, I don't know how to pronounce your name. The double I, SCHNth, Ischenth7 says hi. Well, thank you very much for saying hi. Shout outs from the YouTube side. Well, thank you very much. And Fed says hello to you as well. Ischent, if I'm pronouncing it correct. LB says, the owner and managers are really kind people. If they were annoyed, they didn't show it. The owner came and chatted with me a bit. Oh yeah, then they're not annoyed. If you're a regular as well, I'm assuming they quite like you. So you're a very likable guy, Low Base. L stands for likable. Ischenth says it's Eshanth. That's not helping me much. Hold on. Let's ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT always is the arbiter of this. How do you pronounce Eshanth?
Sure. The name Ashant is typically pronounced like Ashant with the emphasis on the second syllable. So you'd say Ashant. Hope that helps.
I think so. And is that like, where is the origin of Ashant?
Yeah, so Ashant is generally of Indian origin, and it's a name you find in South Asian cultures. It's not super common, but it does have that kind of Indian or Sanskrit sounding background. So if you ever come across it, that's probably the region it's linked to.
All right, well, we learned something. So Ishant, let me know if ChatGPT was super wrong. Uh-oh, is there?
Why is there a reverb on Ember?
Oh, I know why. I think I maxed out my speakers. So it might be my microphone might be catching her voice. So let me turn that all the way down. Let's check again. Hey Amber, can you say my name is Yobel and I'm the best streamer on all platforms?
Absolutely. Here you go. My name is Yobel, and I'm the best streamer on all platforms. There you have it.
She's always got to add a few more words in there. Let me know if that was fixed, I hope. And Ishant says it's correct. Nice. Wait, are you from India then? I've only been to India twice, and I loved it. But it's one of those things where I'm like, man, India is just way too big. Here's like, it's the most stressful place for me to consider traveling to because there's too many things to do. There's too many national parks. There's too many airports. It's like, where do I start? Where do I go? And also, your guys' roads are the most terrifying thing in the world. So, there's also that. Elle says, you use speakers? Fixed? Yeah, I mean, I got speakers. What do you mean? I mean, I don't use it for the... Generally speaking, I don't use it for the stream. That's why I got the headphones on. But I would prefer not using headphones. I would love to just use the speakers. But the problem is what you just saw happen, right? I don't know how to avoid that reverb or the... Yeah, I don't know how to make the microphone not catch things coming from my speaker. Okay. We feel the same. Yeah, dude. Yo, your guys' traffic, it's not even traffic. I'm going to say a positive and a negative thing. I'll start with the... Should I start with the negative? We'll start with the negative. Actually, yeah. Ask your question first because I might offend you too much with my question, with what I say. I had a girl in my class many years back named Kashanti from Sri Lanka. Oh, sorry. Fed, I thought that was Ishant saying that. I was like, where's this question leading? Fed says, I have a girl in my class many years back named Kashanti from Sri Lanka. Yo, Sri Lanka, I love that place as well. So Sri Lanka, India, man, amazing places to travel, especially if you love like nature and wildlife and food. Food was... Man, in Sri Lanka, they had this like... Not balls. Bad timing.
Balls.
Oh yeah, maybe I should switch the TTS voice in a second. My audio interface got a loopback protection. Huh. Oh, interesting. So maybe that's a solution to not need headphones? Yeah, because I overheat in these bad boys, and it's so annoying. And also, I mentioned once we hit day 100 of the stream, I'm going to let my hair down. And so, yeah. Actually, I don't know if that's better or worse. Ishant, you said you wanted to ask a quick question. Feel free. Yeah, ask away. As long as it's not... What's the term? I keep wanting to say TTS, but that's not it. As long as it's not breaking TOS. TOS. Yeah, what was I going to say about India's traffic? Okay, India, if you're ever on the road in India, and I'm assuming you're not the one driving. So if you're not from India, if you're traveling to India and you have a driver and they're taking you through the roads, I think it's almost like one of those things where you should probably get your will settled and written down and everything before you travel to India if you're going to hit the roads, which you're probably going to have to, right? Because I almost feel like there must be a non-insignificant percentage chance that you will die in the streets.
TTS my ISS.
Why did that sound so TOS? Knowing you, Low Base, you did that intentionally, so my hat's off to you. But yeah, the chances of you dying are like, it feels like... I remember when I did my last trip to India and we were driving from, I don't even remember where, Bangalore to Jim Corbett National Park, I think. Something like that. It was like multi-hour trip. And it was driving in the nighttime as well. And the dust would pick up every time a truck would go by. And it was like a one-lane road type thing, right? And the dust covers everything, so then when people's lights are shining through, you can't even see anything. And then you'd have pedestrians, you'd have cows coming by, you'd have the tuk-tuks. like nobody, everyone's speeding and swerving, and I remember I just closed my eyes and I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Why did you do that? Carl, that kills people.
Who the hell's Carl? But yeah, I basically said, Jesus, take the wheel kind of a thing. I was like, I'm just going to keep my eyes closed. And if I die, I'd rather die in my sleep. So, and I remember I wrote this down as a note. I mentioned this on a stream before, I think. I wrote down in my phone, like in the phone notes, I was like, if you ever wanted to have an adrenaline rush, why go to an amusement park? Why go skydiving? Just fly to India and hit the roads for like an hour. And you'll get the exact same adrenaline, exact level of fear, and you'll be a lot more awake coming out of it. So now the good thing is, I think Indian drivers probably must be technically some of the most skilled drivers in the world, because to survive in that environment with that amount of chaos, you have to be like, your spatial awareness and everything has to be like top notch. So I imagine just skill wise, your average Indian driver is like much better than other countries where there's no rules, right? No holds barred. In what universe is A pronounced A? That's a good question. Fed says, oh, sorry, I missed Ishant. You had a question for me. Okay, let's see. I want to learn video editing, but Adobe is pricey for me. Where can I learn it for free? I also want to learn After Effects. Can you help me out maybe if you know where I can start? So I'm a DaVinci Resolve user. So this is what you're seeing me on right now. So I think Fed, is that what you said? Hold on. You can use DaVinci Resolve, the non-studio version, for free. Yeah, exactly. So Ishant, I would say, I know, yo, something happened. Oh, we got a
From
super
a
chat.
creator to another, keep up the great work, Yobel. Awesome stuff on your channel.
Yo, thank you very much, Robin Wong. And also, it's good to see that the TTS works on this. I just updated some of my system here, so we're not streaming to Kick. I'm just focusing on the YouTube Twitch side, and I wasn't sure if any of these things are still working. So thank you very much, Robin, and thank you for the super chat. I thank you long time. Thank you so much. Yo, that's awesome. And is it Myanmar? Is that the MYR? Are you chatting from Myanmar, or am I mistaking that? Hold on. I've been to Myanmar before. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was right before things went crazy over there. Hold on. Hey, Amber, is MYR the currency for Myanmar?
So actually, MYR is the currency code for the Malaysian ringgit. The currency for Myanmar is known as the Burmese kyat, and its code is MMK. So MYR is Malaysia, not Myanmar.
Yo, that's stolen valor is the wrong way to say it. But I was like, dude, that's totally Myanmar, right? Okay, I was mistaken. From Kuala Lumpur. Yo, you're from the Kuala Land. I've never been to Malaysia. I had a good friend in university from Kuala Lumpur, and so we'd always call it Kuala Land. But Malaysia's always at the top. It's one of the top places I do want to visit. So I figured I'll do a trip to like Indonesia and Malaysia. I would love to see the orangutan. But yeah, thank you, Robin. And you said you're a creator as well. So what kind of stuff do you create? Let me ask. Are you also a photographer or a videographer? And then let me respond as well. So Ishant, you were saying, I want to edit the things we see in Reels. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, so I think the free option is CapCut. So if I had to start from scratch, honestly, I would say don't sleep on CapCut, because CapCut has a desktop version and it's got their mobile version. And that's how I started making my Instagram Reels when I started. And there's so many tutorials out there on social media. So honestly, and it's also like such an intuitive tool. Like you know, it's like way more user friendly than a lot of these other more powerful. I say powerful, but like the other softwares, and it's free. And then yeah, like I would echo what Fed says. If you use DaVinci Resolve, I think DaVinci Resolve is one of the best for like setting up the proper fundamentals, because they spend so much time in terms of how it's structured for helping you get the best colors out of your footage, in my opinion, from my understanding so far. So if you build up a good foundation in DaVinci Resolve, they also have something like After Effects, right? They have their Fusion built into DaVinci. So that does all the motion graphics and things like that as well. So yeah, I would say don't sleep on DaVinci, don't sleep on CapCut, especially if you are on a budget or you just want to be able to work on something. I think DaVinci is fantastic. L says amusement parks are safer. Yeah. I don't know of any way to use After Effects free. I don't either. Oh yeah, the other thing, Ishant, is sometimes these subscriptions, if you have a university email, if you're a student, sometimes you can get a discount. So double check those things as well, where, you know, even like Envato Elements is a place where you can get really good templates. Actually, I have a link for that. So let me plug myself. If you go to my website, which is yobelprize.com/my-gear, I should have a link to Envato Elements, which I think gives it some kind of, I don't know. Anyways, Envato Elements is a good one for if you need like stock templates to learn from or have as a base. But yeah, CapCut is really good. Robin said you pronounced Kuala Lumpur right. Did I? Well, now I'm a bit, I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. Kuala Lumpur. Also an intuitive tool. DaVinci Resolve includes Fusion, which is kind of their After Effects. Exactly. Robin says, photographer here. I do mostly street photography. I do need to polish up my DaVinci Resolve skills, though. By the way, Robin, if you would like to join an amazing community, I've just put something in the chat. It's our Discord community. So as a quick way of introducing myself, I'm a travel and wildlife photographer, but I've shifted over towards videography, and I've been trying to learn more in the world of like cinematography and filmmaking in the past year or so. And so I started my YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. So I have shifted gears more towards video, but my bread and butter was made on the photo side of things. The Discord, if you'd like to join, you know, we're slowly building out some community of creators, awesome people doing all kinds of cool things. Feel free to share your work, your social media in one of the channels within the Discord. And if you'd ever like me to check out your photos and review it or see it on stream, we can do that as well. So at some point I'll pay to make people do that, but we're not big enough to demand that. I'm about to go to college in a month, so I think I'll be able to get a discount possible. Yeah, exactly. So never sleep on that either. If you have a university, you just need an email that ends in .edu, and then there's a bunch of different services where you should be able to get a good discount. One of the ones is called the Noun Project. thenounproject.com. You can get a bunch of nice icon, like, you know, and if you have a edu account, you can get it much cheaper. I use Canva all the time. So Canva is also good for, not so much for video editing, but you can find really good templates and stuff within Canva. So I'm just popping that into the chat. Ishant says, thanks a lot, Yobel. I wanted to super chat, but this doesn't allow because I'm not above 18. Yeah, listen, no worries. Don't worry about it. It's a thought that counts. And you know what? Instead of super chatting, feel free to just give a like to the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe on whatever platforms that you watch me on. That's like the best way to help me out. So yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, what are we doing here? Oh yeah. So here's what I'm in DaVinci right now. So Ishant, just as an example, if you are to watch my streams going forward, most of the time you'll see me on DaVinci and on Lightroom for photos. So let me open up Lightroom as well. So we'll just kind of hop between the two. All right. And where were we? We were editing Japan, technically. Although, you know what? I've kind of given up on doing a Japan trip in February. I still want to do it, but probably end of next year, like at the start of the next season of winter. I just stretched myself way too thin. So, yeah. So we don't necessarily have to keep working on the Japan photos. We could technically kind of go back into chronological order. So let me just double check. What would that mean? We're on Mongolia. We basically finished Mongolia photos. So then we could start on Sri Lanka. Okay. I think that's what we'll do. So we're going to start editing some of the Sri Lanka photos as we continue. Wait, hold on. Sorry. I might have jumped the gun. Did we edit everything? I think so. Or at least all the photos that I think we're going to end up using. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, now we can start hopping into another country. So Sri Lanka, here we go. Kristen says you're back. I lost your feed. Oh, what? Well, good to know you're back. Are you saying it was a connection issue on my side? Man, we're yeah, we'll see. Let me see. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully we're all up and running again. So assuming everyone's still here, I was just kind of going over what we'll do. So we'll be starting to edit photos from Sri Lanka. And then I wanted to update my power grade, export a bunch of the dehancer LUTs, and then I want to provide those for free. So then once I can get it onto my website, I'll obviously send you guys the link. So in case you're interested, you would be able to get access to my power grade structure here, as well as the LUTs. Now, as part of that, I am mindful of the fact that some of my nodes are using some third-party plugins. So if you don't have the plugins, it won't necessarily load in. So I need to kind of create duplicates, which is what we did here, right? So I have a node for some of the key steps when you're using DaVinci's native tools, and then we have some that are repeats or duplicates where I have loaded in the DCTL associated with it. So DCTL. This one, I think we're gonna go back to the density. I don't know which version though. One of the versions always causes issues for me. You know what? We're gonna figure that out. Which one was it? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's one of... maybe one of these versions. Let's see. Find in timeline. Kristen, you said, yeah, your feed dropped earlier, so I was like, quite shrug. I had even gone to the page and it didn't show you were live anymore. What? Okay. Well, yeah, well, listen, hopefully it's just growing pains and we're gonna not have those issues going forward, but no promises, unfortunately. Okay, I'm just trying to open up one of these timelines where I need to double check. Nope. Which one would it be? Maybe this one? Okay. Because I used the density thing. Density version 2.2. 2.2. Would that be the one? Final for thumbnails. Final DC. Okay, let's double check one of these. Dang it. Where is it? It slowed down for a moment here earlier when you were still here, Kristen, but it just stuttered for me. Oh, okay. Let me double check. Ishanta's, thanks for the tips. I have to go now because it's dinner time. I'll make sure to follow your channel videos so that I'll be able to learn DaVinci fast. Sorry that I have to leave in the middle of it. Hey, no need to apologize. You know, you hop in when you feel like it. That's all. Thank you. Enjoy. Thanks for being here. Kristen says, maybe I just wasn't patient enough today. I was like, well, guess that's a sign I should get back to work and not procrastinate chatting here. Listen, don't let me get in the way of being productive. That's all. But if I'm here to, if I can entertain, obviously I'm here to entertain. Okay, thanks, Fed. Oh, Fed, as in Fedorowski. Yeah, look at videos on DaVinci for beginners. There's even official channels here on YouTube with people who work for them. Yeah, DaVinci, the one that I've been enjoying the most is Cullen Kelly, which I think Fed and a bunch of others had suggested to me as well. And I still like that Kazi guy. But yeah. What was like? Oh yeah, I need to check my YouTube. Let's see. Let's just see the stream health. Okay, saying stream is healthy. What about Twitch? Twitch is healthy. All right. Fingers crossed. Now I'm like going on a goose chase here. I don't know if I'll find the answer. Because one of these DCTLs that I use causes issues for me all the time. Where like you'll see it'll create these like pixels. Or what do you call it? Like a dead pixel will pop up. So I'm just trying to remember, is this the one that caused the issues, or did I make the update to the right version of this density such that the pixel's not there? Okay, I'm thinking this is the right one. Product review. Maybe how come I can't find it? Maybe this one. Dang it. All right, we're just going to go with that one. So so I'm going to update my power grade, and for this one we're going to switch it out to the density mono hue, desatch. We'll switch to the density 2.2. Okay. So now that one's loaded in. Vignette. So this one we're only going to turn on vignette. Let's turn everything else off. Okay. And then we'll disable it. Cool. So for the texture, let's just double check. Everything else should be off. We just want the film grain, halation, bloom. And then vignette should be off as well. We'll put the quality as high slow. Okay. And then finally, for the dehancer color, so here, I wonder if it'll save with all these kind of closed. And then I think my default choice is going to be the Kodak Aero Color 4125. I think this is ended up being the one I used the most. This Kodak Aero Color. And then probably Fuji Color 100 was the next one. Fuji Film 100? Fuji Color 100. Okay, so we'll enable that one. And then for the print, we'll keep the rest off. So I'm just going to turn on the film stock profile, but we'll enable the rest of these. Okay. So now this should be the default. And then we'll disable it. There we go. Okay, so the thought process here is now anytime I load up this power grade, it'll default to having dehancer off, so that way I can do my other stuff like the color corrections and grading. And then when I get to this point, if I'm like, okay, let's start to apply dehancer, I can just start by either just turning on the node that controls the film grain, halation, and bloom, and if I want it on or off, I could just turn on the one that's for vignetting, and I could turn on just the one for my colors and like choosing the film stocks and stuff. So yeah, okay. I think this is or maybe we'll, instead of calling it colors, although it is colors, maybe this is the profiles. Profiles, texture, vignette. Now the one thing to keep in mind though is if someone doesn't have dehancer, then I need to create a repeat of one of these nodes to do the vignetting. So let's create one more node here. Squeeze these guys in closer. Okay, so then this one we're gonna call vignette. And this will be like the default one. Kristen says, I imagine you'd be able to see Aurora where you're at. Oh yeah, is it that season now? Oh, I had a content creator reach out to me, not to speak to me, but to someone else who's like really famous photographer, and he was like, "Hey, I noticed you guys are mutual friends or something on Instagram. Do you mind connecting me with that person?" So I felt bad because I was like, "Yo, this guy doesn't know me. I don't even think he follows me." But the person who reached out to me, she's also like, you know, someone I follow, and she's like a really cool content creator, and apparently she's trying to do like a conservation in Kazakhstan. So I was like, oh, well, maybe this could be a potential film project. I would love to go to Kazakhstan. That's on my list as well of especially for like wildlife and nature, eagle hunters, and you know, other things. So maybe I'll do a Kazakhstan trip next year. Okay, sorry. What are we doing? I need to turn on vignette for this one. Where do I do vignette? It's been so long. Oh yeah, we'll do a power window. Actually, is there like a built-in vignette option in DaVinci? Without knowing, I'm just gonna use a power window and then what would I do? I would oh wait, no, I have one somewhere. Hold on. Let's create a new version. There we go. Okay. So I did use a power window last time. So this is vignette option number 2. I need a way to describe what is native versus third party, but I guess best way I can think of is just put dehancer in the name of it. So vignette dehancer, yeah. Maybe, okay, maybe I'll just say DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci dehancer. I don't know. I need a better naming structure, but so it's a bit more obvious what's like third party versus not. Kristen, you said, when I hear of Kazakhstan, I think of that movie with Sacha Baron Cohen. Is that his name? I can't think of the movie title, but it's a comedy. Is it Borat or Dictator or something like that? And I think it was in Kazakhstan. Was it like was it Dagestan or I know exactly what you're talking about. Tajikistan? I don't think it was Tajikistan. I went to Tajikistan and I know some people from there. I don't think it was there. What is that one movie with Sacha Baron Cohen, where he is from like one of the Stan countries? And what is that country he's from in that movie?
Oh, you're thinking of Borat. So the movie is called Borat, Cultural Landings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. And in the film, Sacha Baron Cohen's character Borat is from Kazakhstan. So that's the Stan country you're looking for.
I didn't know that. But Kazakhstan is beautiful. Every once in a while, you'll see on Instagram, and well, it's not just Kazakhstan. It's like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. All of those stands are like, it's one of those. You can't even call it a hidden gem anymore, just because too many people know about it. But it is still kind of unexplored, right? So in terms of the new frontier of places that people may want to travel to where it's not overly expensive, it's still a bit remote in terms of like reaching it. it's still underdeveloped in the sense of like the infrastructure and whatever else. All of those stands are definitely worth visiting. Let's just check out the nature of it real quick. Like this, you would occasionally see on Instagram where they do these like Instagram reels where it's like, this is not Norway, this is Kazakhstan. And then, you know, like it has like the fjords, or it's like, hey, this is not Ireland, this is Kazakhstan. But yeah, it's stunning. I need to visit for sure. And I know some people from Kyrgyzstan. So Kyrgyzstan's the other place. I just never know how to spell it. Kyrgyz. Jesus. Borat, so funny, hilarious film. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that. I think when I type, Fed said Borat, it's Kazakhstan. I typed that photography social app that we're connected on in YouTube chat. It doesn't show on your screen. I think when I type that photography social app, you're talking about Instagram, that we're connected on in, it doesn't show on your screen. Huh, like if you type in the word Instagram, it doesn't show up? I wonder if it's like somehow, Kristen said it's an interesting country. Yeah. So here's Kyrgyzstan, and Kyrgyzstan also, like I'm waiting to go. I'm itching to go. I've been wanting to. And it's like a place where I would probably want to spend an entire month. And it might be one of those like summer trip type things. Like you get all these green valleys. It's kind of like Mongolia as well, right? All these places. Because technically the place I visited in Mongolia, it is on the western tip. So it is kind of more Central Asia area. And yeah, to me, hidden gems, hidden beauty, blah, blah, blah. But you get some of the coolest looking places all in one country. So Kyrgyzstan and then Uzbekistan. Yeah, it's almost like I'm pretty sure they all kind of share the same vibes. So you can do a whole trip out of it, a stand trip. And they're like, you know, they're known for the horses and stuff. Kazakhstan for the eagle hunters as well. Yeah. This is one of the benefits of living in Dubai. It's not too far to go there. Mongolia is a bit far, though. That's the one place. I'm talking about the gram. Okay, interesting. So I didn't know it would stop people from typing that out. The Kazakhstan scene in Borat were filmed in a Romanian village, though. Nice. Okay, I didn't know that. What's up, Troy? Mr. Tap. That's amazing landscapes. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, like I feel like it's absolutely a hidden gem. And another place, although this one is more known, I think, although maybe not. Oman is, at least in the Middle East, Oman, I remember when I first moved to Dubai, because it's literally right next to Dubai. You can like drive over there. The way they would describe Oman was that it was like the Norway of the Middle East, which maybe is a bit much to say. Oh, okay, maybe they're talking about the Musandam Peninsula. Yeah, so not the rest of Oman, but they do have this one peninsula. Musandam Peninsula. So Oman is interesting, where you've got the mainland, and then you got Dubai that cuts through, and then there's a sliver of like the edge of the land that's still part of Oman, even though it's not landlocked or whatever. Let me see. Oman, Musandam. I actually haven't been here yet. But people do like overnight stays on these dhows, these dhow boats. And you can see dolphins here. So yeah, a lot of people do vacations out here. I'm not going to lie though, I'm just not a big fan of the landscapes nearby. There are some places, I think, where you can find some really stunning stuff. But the problem is, because we're basically in a desert, you do end up getting more of this kind of rock-colored formations. Whereas for me, I love, like, like the European country, or like I like almost everywhere else where you've got, forested mountains and like, like to me, Banff National Park is probably, it's like hard to beat this kind of stuff, But yeah. Man, I'm itching to travel now. Raiden, what's up, Raiden? Hello, uncle, says Raiden. I'm not actually. I am an uncle. Yo, I'm about to be an uncle to 3 kids. How crazy is that? My brother's been busy. Kristen, what is your IG? Yes. Oh yeah, feel free. Oh, I don't know if you can share links on. There's something. I think it gets blocked on these chats, but feel free at any time if you guys have socials you want to share in the Discord. You can absolutely do that. Raiden says I went to Oman before. It's fire. Oh, it's fire. I see. I went to Oman before. It's fire. My real uncle lived there. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Nice. Yeah, Oman is really... I've been a few times, and one thing it shares in common with Norway as well is they have like the wild camping concept. So you can literally camp out wherever you want. So you can just rent a car, go out in the desert, go up into the mountains, just park your car and go to sleep. Nobody cares. So as long as you're not on private property, you can do whatever. But yeah, welcome Raiden. Has it been a minute? I feel like I might have seen you recently, although I can't tell, but thanks for being here. Kristen says that word will show up here, but on your screen that's scrolling, it doesn't show up. It's happened before too. Okay, it might be one of my chatbot things that are like blocking it or something. Troy says I can do the rock ocean, orange blue is great combo. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think it does look nice in the coastal areas, but once you're inland and if it's just all brown, I don't know. Not for me, dog. I got some great shots at Banff as well. Love that part. Yeah, Banff was where I really started. That was the first place I traveled to with a camera. So, you know, close place to my heart in terms of like, definitely was one of the catalysts for me in terms of like pursuing photography further. So yeah. It's been like 2 days. Did you forget the Princess Peach? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, the Princess Peach thing. Yo, I forgot to clip it. Did I write down the time for it? I think I might still have it somewhere. That was hilarious, by the way. That was freaking hilarious. Like, who would have thought? What are the odds? Fed says, I'm the uncle of 4. Yeah, basically, Raiden... What happened? Yeah, Raiden did a TTS voice dono where he said something lewd about Peach. And so I took a moment to process what he was saying. And then I was about to say, like, are you talking about Princess Peach? And as I was trying to contemplate, the next song on my playlist was a song called like "What's Up, Princess Peach" or something like that. So, anyways, it was like the coincidence of all coincidences. Raiden says I clipped it. Oh, nice, nice. I see you fixed the lag. Is it fixed? Yo, okay. Well, we only had to sacrifice Kick to make it happen. So, I do want to keep streaming to Kick if possible, but listen, sometimes you gotta chop off a body part, right? To stay alive. I don't know which body part Kick would be. I guess the foot, given the name. But yeah. Okay, so I'm being very, very slow with it. What else do I need to update to my power grade? So we got our vignette. Oh yeah, let me rename this. Vignette. We have our dehancer split out. Oh yeah, we need an additional Rec 709 output thing. So basically, I'm using a DCTL. Wait, am I? No, this is an old version. Oh, wait, hold on. No, this is it. So we're using a version of transform out using Rex, the 2499 DRT. However, my assumption has to be if I'm giving this as a power grade to other people to use for free, then I need a version where that's not included, or at the very least, it's grayed out. So that people can use the right version. So how should I do this? Then I should I make a parallel node? Is that the right way to do it? Maybe. I think so. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So we'll create a parallel node. So that the hold on. I'm running out of space here, so let's figure out how to do this. You know what? We'll get rid of one of these LUTs. Because it's just a placeholder anyways. So basically, we would have 2 options. You either convert to Rec 709 using the DRT. So maybe I'll label this DRT. And then the other one will just be the... Do you just say CST? Color space transform? I don't know. Okay, maybe this is what we'll do. Raiden says, new TTS coming soon. Just wait for the points to go up. Nice, nice. Kristen says, are you older or younger than that sister? I have 4 siblings. Wait, Kristen, I think you might have told me this before, and I apologize if you did. Obviously, I know you have a crazy large family in terms of how many kids you have. I didn't know you had 4 siblings of your own, or you might have more. But wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. I'm so jealous. It must be so much fun to just like have such a big family, a bunch of siblings. I don't know. It sounds really cool. Fed says, I have to drive up in the mountains here to see the northern lights better when they are visible to escape the lights. Gotcha. You both are lucky. I need to fly north. Yeah, I have to fly north as well. I'm in a desert, okay? We don't get nature out here. Hey, what's up, Shade Master Jade? Oh, Shade Master Jade. Wait, how come I recognize your name? And I'm so sorry, because I think you were just in the chat, and my brain's glitching. But yeah, I know you've been here before, so welcome back, Shade Master Jade. What time is it over there? It is now 7:12 p.m. my time in Dubai. Fed says, to really see them more impressively and fully, I have to fly further north in the country here. I need to do a Norway trip for sure, for sure. Okay, how do I fix this? So just have one corner fade. You know what? We don't need this corner fade. We don't need it. Let's simplify it. There we go. And we'll just call this 709. Maybe I'll say DCTL DRT 709. Okay, so then basically the version that I would provide on my website would be the one where there's no third-party stuff associated with it. Oh wait, then at that point, shouldn't I just create 2 different power grades? God, I'm definitely overcomplicating things. What to do? Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'm gonna create 2 power grades. One for me, one for the... Shade Master asked, what mic do you use? Oh, I'm using the Electro Voice RE20. Beautiful microphone. Apparently a lot of people use it. So it's... I know the Shure SM7B, I don't know if it probably still is, right? That might be like the popular choice. But I think this RE20 is also there now in terms of like the one that you'll see a lot of streamers use. It's very, very nice. I really like it. It sounds nice. Thank you very much. Hells yeah. It's not the mic. That's just my voice. Kristen says they all live in Massachusetts and I'm in Iowa, so I don't get to see them often. But you video chat often though. That's cool. On my bucket list of shots one of these fine days, says Troy. Oh, I think I know someone who does like photo tours out to see the Northern Lights. So Troy, if you are planning to do it soon, like next year, I can put you in touch with them, or I can find the details if I remember. Kristen says, last night was the first time I saw the Northern Lights in person. My 8-year-old son said, it's my first time seeing it. I said, you're 8 and I'm 41, so I've waited longer than you. Yeah, wait your turn is what you would say. Yeah, you should have closed his eyes, and it's like, you know, you got to earn it. Shade says SM7B is pretty overrated. Fair enough. I don't know. I've never used it, so I'll reserve judgment, I guess. But oh shoot. Okay, so we'll rename this one Power Grade for me. And this will be for thee. Okay, so this is my version of the power grade, which means I can delete a few things. I don't need this extra vignette. I don't need this native CST. And I can rename this one then. DRT. I don't even know what is DRT versus. Okay, hold on. This is a question for ChatGPT. It's a great mic, but people seem to just get it because everyone else has it. To be fair, though, I got this not because other people have it, but I just asked ChatGPT, and then I asked a few people in the chat to help me out, and ultimately, this became one of the better options in the price range that I was kind of like aiming for. It's not often they are visible here either. You're in the southwest coast of Norway. You usually have to go up into the mountains. It'd be fun to go camping and just see the northern lights. Man. Amber, I'm a bit confused when I'm in the color tab of DaVinci, and I've noticed that some people, they say color space transform, so they'll say the CST, but then there's one DCTL that I've downloaded that's called DRT, and I'm pretty sure I've seen other color graders have ORT for probably like output. So what are the differences there? What are all of them? What do they stand for, and what's like the proper one to use?
Absolutely. Let's break that down a bit. So when you hear people say CST, that stands for color space transform. It's a built-in resolve tool that basically lets you convert footage from one color space in Gamma to another. It's very straightforward and user-friendly for color management. Now, when you mention DRT or ORT, those are typically other types of transforms. So DRT can stand for display rendering transform. It's more about how colors are rendered for your display, like making sure what you're seeing on your monitor looks correct. And then ORT would be an output rendering transform. That's kind of similar, but focused on how the final output is transformed to match a particular color space or standard. In short, CST is your general all-purpose color space tool. DRT is more about how things look on your display, and ORT is about making sure the final output is in the right color space. Which one you use depends on what step you're at. If you're just doing basic color management, CST is usually the way to go.
Okay. Fed says, oh, Troy says San Diego area. Nice. Kristen says you should take a trip to Iowa and I'll feed you good food. Yo, I would love to. Listen. Well, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, if I'm being honest, just because I need to build up we have to become successful doing this thing first before I can afford to do any fun trip in the US besides visiting family. Because going home from Dubai is not cheap, you know? It's freaking expensive. It's crazy. So usually either I can tie traveling back home with like a different project, so then I just like do a layover, spend a few days, that kind of thing. That's probably the best way to do it. So if there's a project in Iowa. Now, what I do know about Iowa, because I think I mentioned part of my quote-unquote lore, if you get to know me, is that I grew up with wrestling. My dad was an Olympic wrestler. So I knew a lot growing up about, everything about wrestling. And Iowa is definitely one of the top states for like the best wrestlers, I believe. Like usually the top tier, the ones that go to the Olympics and stuff. At the very least, the NCAA side of things, I know Iowa is like one of the best. That's all I know about Iowa. Yo, Ricardo. Thank you very much for subbing on the YouTube side. Hey, what a fun day. Thank you guys. I do it's very nice of you guys to be supporting me. Especially, you know what? Yesterday's stream was so much fun. There's a bunch of new people that I met in the chat. And then out of nowhere, my stream the connection, everything died. So that was unfortunate. And so today's stream, I kind of scrambled between doing work off stream and then trying to use this new thing for the stream itself. And we struggled, but you know, having you guys in the chat and just helping me out throughout this has definitely made it worthwhile. Shade, you asked, isn't your mic around the same price as the SM7B? I think I think you're right. I think it is roughly the same. Actually, I forget. There's a whole thing where it was like we were trying to figure out between the SM7B, the RE20, something called like the Neuro something. I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't remember. But there was a few options. But I think the RE20 ended up being the one Personally, also, I thought the aesthetic of the RE20 looked super nice. Although I wanted the beige colored mic, and I ended up with the black one because the beige one wasn't available to ship to me. But I guess technically the black one works better because like the mic arm and my headphones, everything kind of matches. So you know what? It probably all worked out. The less light pollution from the city, the more chance of seeing the northern lights. Yeah. Utah. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could see it there. Yeah. Kristen drives a 15-passenger van with rear wheel. Oh God, I hate rear rural. Any of these R words. With rear wheel drive, and did not realize how difficult the terrain would be going up the coast. 15-passenger van. Jesus. What's up, Guten? Oh man, I already forgot how to say good afternoon, but thankfully, it's Albin time. Guten Albin, Dator. Hopefully you're doing well. I need to learn more German. 101 gets narrow and windy. Fun drive in a small car. Oh man, I missed the 101. Wait, is the 101 like an international highway? I got some amazing pictures though. The sunset on the beach was breathtaking. Nice, nice. Okay, so what was I doing here? I need to save this. Okay, let me take one more glance. Is everything good to go? We've got our conversion. We've got the dehancers broken up. DRT. We updated the density, desaturation, saturation, hue. Okay. Let me double check. I have to make sure everything is high, slow, and high, slow. Okay. Oh, one thing I'm not a fan of this noise reduction. So I watched one of the Cullen Kelly's videos, and I think in Cullen Kelly's video, he was using noise reduction, using the spatial noise reduction and the spatial threshold. But for me, when I look at the results, it kind of softens the image way too much. Like it turns it very like 2010s, AI filter style, whatever, like photo filters. Like you can kind of see, right? Everything just gets super, I don't even know how to describe it. But that's the one he used, so I was a bit confused by that, because usually I use the temporal noise reduction. So let me look it up. Okay, so I watched a video from, I think it was Cullen Kelly on YouTube earlier, and he was using the spatial noise reduction inside of the noise reduction tool. However, I feel like the results that I get from the spatial NR tends to look worse than when I use the temporal NR. Which of the, what's the difference, and what do experts normally use from a color grading standpoint?
Yeah, definitely a common question, and Cullen Kelly does have some great insights on this. So,
Yo,
the
what's
main
up, Primal
difference is
Nation?
that spatial noise reduction works on a single frame at a time. It looks at the noise within just that one frame and tries to smooth it out. On the other hand, temporal noise reduction looks across multiple frames. It uses information from previous and next frames to figure out what's noise and what's actual detail, which can often give a cleaner result. Now, in practice, a lot of colorists, including Cullen Kelly, tend to favor temporal noise reduction because it usually preserves more detail and looks more natural, especially in motion. Spatial can sometimes make things look a bit soft.
Okay, well then I'm a bit confused why. I swear I watched a Cullen Kelly video, or one of these ones that I was looking up to in terms of learning, and they were using the spatial noise reduction. So then I switched up my power grade to have that as the default. And immediately I was like, yo, something's wrong with the noise every single time. And I would just end up switching back to the temporal, but okay. Yo, what's up, Primal Nation? Primal's in the chat. Primal, I just saw your the emote that you're creating. I don't know if there's an update since. I think it was a few days ago, but hope you're doing well. Fed says, I always love it when I find out a movie was shot in Oregon. It's so beautiful. It has similarities to my country here in Norway in some ways. Yeah, they call it the Pacific Northwest Drive, which, yeah, I think you can either start from Oregon or, wow, how come I don't remember? Yeah. Okay, we'll just go with Oregon because I'm having a brain fart. But you start from like one of these states along the Pacific Northwest is what they say. And it's like such a beautiful road trip drive. You drive along the coast and everything. It's really nice. My favorite town on the drive is Brookings, Oregon. Very cool sea stacks on the beach. It was terrifying. We also went to Lake Tahoe. Oh, that's also fun. Into the woods to see the redwoods. I don't think we were on the coast in Oregon since we had to head inland. Experts normally use both in tandem. Oh, okay. Thank you, Fed. It's important to not overdo it with the spatial one. Don't up the radius too much and keep it at small in nearly all cases. All right, I appreciate that because, yeah, like, I think I set it to 35 and it just looks so nasty. Like, but let me see. So if I... Okay, let's drop it to 0 on both. So this is at 100. So what if I just do a slight amount? Okay, so what if we do... I'll set both to 5. How about that? Let's see if it makes a difference. Yeah, okay. That's what we'll do. Without really rhyme or reason, we're just going to set both to 5. Temporal and spatial. Thank you, Fed. It smudges the image. That was the word I was looking for. Or yeah, like the image just looks very smudgy. It like flattens some parts out, removes all the pixels, and like, yeah. Primal says my pieces are not all emotes. It's a digital design. So sorry, I don't specify of doing just emotes. Oh, okay. Well, my bad. I guess I need to expand the vocabulary then. So it's digital design overall. Well, nice. What are you working on these days? Fed, no, Kristen said it was my husband and I, our 85 kids, more accurately, 8, plus my military, I don't know what that is, and our 16-year-old nephew. We have a hitch on the back too. Jeez, that sounds so intense to travel. I feel like you have to like do a number count because you're gonna forget one of those kids every time you guys do a pit stop. Try to set the temporal to 5 and the spatial to 10. About double is often good. Okay, thanks. I was kind of there. I did 5 and 5, so we'll do 5 and 10. Yeah, and result still looks nice, so thank you. Appreciate that. Primal's doing music covers and Christmas designs. Ooh, it is it already Yo, you're skipping Thanksgiving? Oh wait, yeah, I guess so. If it smudges, you just turn it back a nodge. Mother-in-law. Okay. I should have known. Not intentional, yeah. Okay, so we're going to keep this, but I'm going to obviously deactivate it just because I usually like that off. All right, final glance. I think we're good with this. So let's go ahead and save this as our new power grade. So what do we do? Grab still. Hold on. Just make sure everything is in the right place. 5, 10. Okay. So we're going to grab the still. Let's copy the name. And what is today? Today is the 22nd. Oh no, sorry, my bad. The 12th. And that should mean I could delete this one in a second, but we'll keep this for now. So this is my version. And then we want to create the other version. So this is mine. How do I distinguish? Okay, maybe we have to change it up slightly somehow. We'll say YP R3D. DCTL. And then we'll just call it PG. Okay. And then now let's create the other version. Power grade for the. Oh, shoot. I'll just load this one in then. Oh, dang it. I need to be smarter about these things. Oh, this one I think... Can we save this one? Oh, no, okay, whatever. We'll just do the... Let's do it over. But now we'll delete all the dehancer stuff. We'll add a vignette. Hi, EXO23 says hi. Well, hi to you, hi. Thanks for saying hi from the Twitch side. It's a holiday I don't really care to hype about. I'm with you, Primal. Well, to be fair, I just don't hype about any holidays. I don't celebrate my birthday either, so I could be a bit on the abnormal side of that. Of all the holidays, is there one that I actually care about? I think the most overrated one, though, is New Year's Eve. And I used to hate it the most because it was always the most disappointing. Because I remember in university and onwards, we would always like try to go as a group to like the crazy New Year's Eve ball parties or whatever with the ball drops and like at the fancy hotels or whatever. And we'd always end up being stuck in the longest lines and basically miss everything. And it's just like always the worst experience. But I've been enjoying New Year's Eve recently because like I think 3 out of the 5 years recently, I would always end up flying during New Year's Eve. So I would be on a flight as it switched over to the new year. And to me, there's something really cool about that experience. One, the flights are much cheaper. So just as a nice little cheat, if you want to hack for cheaper trips, if you book a trip and you're flying on New Year's Eve, it's bound to be much cheaper. Because what kind of idiot would want to be missing the start of New Year or be stuck on a plane for New Year? I'm that idiot. And it's actually kind of fun to feel like you are celebrating New Year's Eve with however many other passengers and cabin crew in a unique way, right? It's just a small subset of you who will actually experience that time zone shift or, the new year at that particular moment in time. So yeah, it's a bit weird though. Sorry, I need to catch up on the chat. There's a lot less lag between what I write and you getting it now. Well, my bad, Kristen, because I've been a bit slow on responding, so it could also compound with that. So let me catch up real quick. This video shows a really great way of getting the noise reduction just right. Perfect NR in DaVinci, BBC. Okay, let me copy and paste that. Oh, come on. I can't copy and paste. Let's just do it. We'll just manually do this. Perfect NR in DaVinci Resolve -BBC TV Colorist Insight. Okay. Thank you, Fed. It's my favorite technique for noise reduction after seeing him do it. Okay. Primal says the only one I do is Christmas besides my grandfather's birthday for the get-together. Christmas was our biggest holiday to see each other. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I feel like most people probably would say Christmas must be the best holiday. You get all... I think the Christmas food. What is Christmas food? I guess it's more like dessert stuff? Cookies? I don't know. But obviously the presents. We just eat dinner at home and go see one of the 6 city fireworks on New Year's Eve. Okay. Kristen says, I'm that idiot. Well, yeah, I am. Yeah, because I'm very aware, keenly aware, that it's kind of a bizarre thing to say that you want to be on a plane to celebrate New Year's Eve. But I don't know how to describe it. There's something like, poetic is too strong of a word, but there's something interesting to me about feeling like I'm celebrating something with a bunch of strangers, in that particular moment in time. I don't know. Because obviously we're not the only ones that experience that time zone shift, right? It's wherever we are, whatever region we're flying over. But it's just that feeling of like there's other people like me that are stuck on this plane going God knows where. So we're all kind of, you know what? Not to go on this diatribe too much, but okay, Primal's just said homemade pasta, Italian assorted food, cookies, and homemade cannolis. Is that like oh yeah, Italian stuff. Gotcha. That all sounds really good. We eat turkey on we eat turkey on New Year's Eve. That's our turkey day and leftovers for New Year's Day. Okay, interesting. When American friends talk about turkey and Thanksgiving, I know there's still a while to go for our turkey day. Gotcha. I'm not a big fan of turkey. I have turkey every day. I have slices of turkey breast with my oatmeal. I make this whole mix. But yeah. But I was never a big fan of like Thanksgiving food. The stuffing is good. That's delicious. Everything else I could give two shits about, and that's it. I was about to go on a quick little, not a diatribe, but what was I gonna say? Okay, yeah, the fact that I'm sharing a moment, an experience with a bunch of strangers where we're all traveling to the same destination, but nobody knows each other, but we're all heading in the same way, and we're all crossing into the new year at exactly the same time, and we're all kind of celebrating but not celebrating together. So I think there's something kind of something I romanticize about that, I think. And it's the same thing how I feel about cafes. I would love to open up my own cafe in the future. It was one of my first dreams, if you will, of like what I would love to do in retirement or whatever. I want to open up my own book themed cafe. But as part of that, I love being in a cafe environment because you are usually going there to be on your own, right? You're trying to be productive, you're doing your own stuff, you're reading a book, which is what I was doing all the time. But you're kind of I would just be there as a loner, find my own little corner on my table and just get some coffee and read a book and do my thing. But then you look around and there's all these locals or regulars and they're all by themselves as well. Sometimes people come as a pair or they're there to like actually be social. But for the most part, we're all there to be antisocial. So it's like a social place to be antisocial. And to me, there's something very, very nice about that. This feeling of like, we are all sharing in our privacy of like our desire to be private, but not really. Like we like to be introverted or do our thing, but we're not so introverted that we want to be stuck at home doing that thing. There's some comfort you feel from doing your solo thing around other people doing their solo thing. So anyways, to me, I think that somehow rings the same with like celebrating New Year's Eve on a plane. So there you go. Ham is where it's at for Christmas dinner. Oh, you're right. I think that is the thing, right? Sweet potato pie. Ooh. Okay, I do like that. Actually, I'm not a big pie guy, but I do like sweet potato. We alternate between pork belly. Now we're talking. Smoked lamb ribs and pork belly. Yo. Those are the two most popular traditional meals for Christmas Eve in Norway. That sounds really good. We usually have family dinners 24th, 25th, and family gathering with cold cuts and such on the 26th. What's up, King? King Crook's in the house. Joe Bell is going in. No, I'm out. That was it. That's all I had to share. Christmas is called Jule here, as it was all the way back in the Viking Age. It's celebrated for 3 days to the end. Wow, lucky you. Does that mean 3 times the presents? Oh, dang it. Oh, I this guy, Darren Moston. Is this the one you're talking about, Fed? You know what? I need to subscribe to this guy. Yeah, I saw one of his videos as well. Man, these guys are so expert at what they teach. Lamb. That's not something I can get easily, but I love it. Eggnog. Oh yeah, I never had eggnog, so I just know of its existence, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, growing up, we didn't really celebrate holidays too much. We were like that Asian immigrant family that didn't know any of the cultural stuff. But eggnog, I just assumed it was like some kind of drink where they crack some eggs inside of it. And I was like, that sounds, I mean, not for me. We have tons of sheep here, so we have lamb season every year. Hells yeah. No, only presents on the 24th after dinner. Gotcha.
Episode was all about making the
Okay, let me see. Is there music in this video? If not, I would love to play it.
Perfect no tree, and this caused quite a stir in the comments. I had hundreds of comments from people going, where'd you put halation, where'd you put glow, where'd you put your grain, why are you putting your goods of combat? So my last episode was all about making the perfect no tree, and this caused quite a stir in the comments.
Man, you know what? There's something almost competitive about it, right? Not that's the wrong way to say it, but it's kind of fun to see other people's node trees and how they structured it, and then like trying to compare, like, you know, how can I make mine look more aesthetically pleasing? And then I saw Colin Kelly's, and obviously he knows what he's talking about, and his was like the most bare bones, like, I don't give two shits about it, just here you go. So yeah, anyways.
Comments. I had hundreds of comments from people going,
Can share a tasty lamb recipe? King, if you've got a recipe, please do share. I don't have anything, but I just order from delivery services.
Your grain, why are you putting your grain there and not the beginning, all this sort of stuff. But the most common thing that kept coming up was, where'd you put noise reduction? And it made me realize I haven't actually done a single episode about noise reduction at all. I'm going to show you exactly where noise reduction goes. I'm going to show you two different examples actually, because I don't put it in the same place religiously on every single program. I'm going to show you why I would change where it goes in the node tree. I'm also going to show you a couple of really good tips on how to dial in exactly the right amount of noise reduction. And to do that, I've been very kindly allowed to use an actual BBC One documentary that I worked on in June. It's called Tommy Jessup Goes to Hollywood. I'll put a link to it in the description. And Tommy's brother, Will, is actually the director. I've worked with him a couple of times now, and he's very kindly let me use the footage from that to show you a real world example. So let's get straight into it. So this is the actual original project that I worked on. You can see my node structure is very similar to what I gave away.
Quick aside, hold on. Fed says we don't have eggnog, but we have Advocat, which is basically the same, but you just buy the bottle. Oh, I thought you were going to say some kind of avocado thing. Advocat. Okay, not related. It's what the butler spills on Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I've never watched The Shining, except for like, I think bits and pieces of it. So I know like the pivotal moments and stuff. I never actually watched it. My favorite scary movie. Interesting. It's not a Christmas thing here though. Advocat is just a liqueur for any season. Gotcha. I want to do movie streams, but I also don't want to get copyright struck. So, oh yeah, I had a quick aside. One thing I noticed with this is like a recent-ish trend. I say recent-ish because now I'm looking at this as a year ago, so maybe it's not that recent. But I have noticed there's a number of YouTubers that I've been watching where they tend to not have any background soundtracks at all. It's just them speaking into the microphone, and that's it. And initially, I didn't know what to think of it. I think part of me, I feel like it's growing on me, that kind of a trend of just being like, hey, there's no fluff. We just get straight to hearing my voice, talking about this, and showing it. So, and I'm assuming the editors must be happy not to have to do extra work either. But I don't know. I still feel like I would want background music in some form or fashion. I'm not sure. But like I have noticed that with the number of these guys where, yeah, it's like simplified. And simplified, but not in a bad way per se. But yeah, I'm still kind of mixed. I don't actually know what is, like, I don't know which direction do I want to take my channel. Do I want to do the same thing? Or do I want to keep doing a bit of like kind of soft ambient, you know, soundtracks while I'm talking?
In my last episode, and this is a 1 hour BBC documentary, so let's have a look at how many shots that would be. So looking in,
look who's decided to join the stream.
Selected, and it's 660.
Look at this queen.
Which is very typical for a 1 hour documentary.
Look at the queen. Oh look, both cats are just chilling here. Oh wait, no, get down. You're not allowed there. Look at them. Adorable. And I just happen to get the cat camera set up properly there. Like, usually I don't always get it right. It just depends where they're chilling, because I had to crop it. But as much as I enjoy the sound of your voice, I like to hear some music in the background. Yeah, you know what? I agree. Let's go ahead and keep some music on. You've never even heard The Shining. It's the... I feel like there's so many moments in The Shining that people reference in, like, comedy, satire stuff, whatever. I've just never fully watched it. I just saw a few of those moments and I kind of like, okay, I got you. Let me just take a quick break and check out the Queen Diva. King says, Joe Bell looking swole. Thank you very much. You know, I've been consistently going to the gym for the past, I think, 2 weeks now, every other day. So I thank you very much. I didn't think it would start showing that soon, but yeah. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to go on a diet. Right now I figured I need to build my muscles back up, so we're just gonna pig out. Yeah, Kristen's asking, have you ever heard the phrase "Here's Johnny"? Because that is actually that's the only line I know. Oh no, is there the "Come play with us"? Come play with us? Is that from that? That's from Johnny Carson. Wait, is it really? Oh wait, actually I don't even know. Kubrick is one of the goats. Okay, we've been staring at this cat for too long. Or actually, you know what? Here's Jari. Sorry, I haven't. Here's Johnny. Actually, yeah. Is that coming from the show or from the movie? Is Kubrick the one who made the birds too? I have no idea. I didn't watch a lot of those types of what is that genre? Is it just like straight up horror or thriller? I think growing up I was too scared of watching those things. I growing up had so many moments of like sleep paralysis, chronic sleep paralysis. So as someone with sleep paralysis, holy, yeah, you never want to you don't want to fan the flames, if you will. I don't want to add more arsenal for my imagination to come up with the worst conjurings when you're having sleep paralysis. So I kind of tried my best to avoid that growing up. And then once I realized what sleep paralysis was, and then I kind of got over the fear of it, then I was like, yo, I love thrillers. So Hitchcock made The Birds. Kubrick does not usually make horror movies. Okay. Yeah, the two little ghost girls wants poor little Danny to come play with them. That's from The Shining, right? I need to ask my 21-year-old. She's my movie buff. That knows. Oh, you know what just came out? Have you guys... Okay. I know we're supposed to be editing stuff and learning about video editing, but have you guys seen that new show called Pluribus? From, who's the guy? The one who did Breaking Bad. Is that Vince Gilligan? Pluribus. I just watched it on Apple TV. I think the first 2 episodes have come out. Fantastic. I love this kind of stuff. I love quirky, sci-fi-esque, kind of like dark, yeah, post-apocalyptic science fiction. It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's insane. Although, to be fair, I don't really trust Rotten Tomatoes for TV shows. I usually trust IMDb. And you know what? I stand by it. I feel like Rotten Tomatoes always does a good job. I usually line up with Rotten Tomatoes for movies, mostly with the viewers, right? Like the audience. So I think I'm a layman, right? I'm a pleb. But for TV shows, I think IMDb is what I use. And usually if there's an IMDb show with enough reviews, as long as it's 8.0 out of 10 or higher, then I know it's going to be an excellent show. I've never been proven wrong, or I've never watched a show that was 8 out of 10 or higher where I was like, yo, this is like complete garbage. It might not be my taste, but I would still be like, yo, this is excellent. Well done. The fact that this has 8.9 is insane. Although it's so new that maybe obviously it can fluctuate. So the babysitter thought I was asleep, but no. I watched Friday the 13th when I was 4. Ooh. Yeah, when I was young, my older cousin, we visited her in San Diego. She's like a step cousin. I don't even know her name anymore, but she was like maybe like 10 years older than us. She made us watch Saw, and I must have been like 6 years old or 8 years old or something. I don't know. So we watched the movie Saw. Holy, that was more frightening than any ghost, supernatural, paranormal activity type movie out there, because that was like real. It made me think like, oh my god, is someone going to be inspired by this and then like kidnap me and put me through, you know, the crazy shit. Shelley Duvall ended her acting career early, so many might not know her. Okay, I didn't know that. Jack Nicholson is that old bro that goes to Laker games. Yeah, he seems so quirky. He must be fun to hang out with in person. But anyways, Pluribus. I highly recommend it. Only 2 episodes. It's doing like the weekly stuff, which I kind of appreciate. I do appreciate shows going back to like a weekly cycle. As someone who binges, I think it's good to kind of switch up the pace a bit. Okay, what was I doing here? I need to switch this to DaVinci, and let's keep listening.
Like using noise reduction. It's as simple as that. If I filter this by noise reduction, you can now see how many clips I've actually got noise reduction on, and it is 56. So it's less than 10% of the program that's got noise reduction on it. And you can see quite clearly some of this stuff is very low light. This is a sort of fly on the wall type documentary, a lot of run and gun shooting. So you're obviously going to get scenarios where the lighting is not perfect. So that's mainly why there's noise reduction in here. So to allow me to explain the different techniques of noise reduction, I've chosen 2 very specific clips from the documentary, and I've put them into a separate timeline. So let me just show you what that is about. I've got a shot here, and let me just quickly scrub through that, and I've got a shot here, and they both have different noise reduction properties, and they're in different places on the timeline. So you can see this one is on node 2, and the previous shot, the noise reduction is actually on node 3. So I'm going to explain why that is happening. So let's take this first shot here, and let's have a look at what's going on. Now, just to show you a quick bit about the color management that's going on here.
1980s had the best action hero movies.
We're in our regular DaVinci wide gamut intermediate timeline color space.
Oh, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Gotcha. I've never seen Clockwork
We're using
Orange.
CSTs for our color management. Okay, all documented.
Eyes wide shit.
We've got one on the end here. This is taking us DaVinci wide gamut to 709 as always, and our front CST is our camera profile up to DaVinci wide gamut, and the camera profile on this one is Panasonic Vlog. Okay, so it's Panasonic camera. What I want to show you first is how it looked, but with the CSTs on. So it's not the log image. I'm going to show you it in the correct color space, and you'll see what's going on. So I've just got a wipe here. This is the image. As you can see, it's really underexposed, and so the first thing I had to do was lift it using this node here. Okay, that's a lot of lifting to do in there because it's underexposed. You've got noise, and I've had to lift this node here. Okay, and so the first thing I had to do was lift it using this node here. Okay, that's a lot of lifting to do in there because it's underexposed. You've got noise, and I've had to lift it a lot. So this is why I put the noise reduction after this node in this instance. Okay, normally I would have it after the CST straight away, but this one needed so much lifting that I've actually put it in third. I wanted to lift the image up first.
Wait, that's interesting. So he's doing the noise reduction early on in the process, whereas I thought other videos I'd seen and just from other conversations, noise reduction was one of the last things to apply. Okay, anyways, we'll keep watching.
Now, if I switch this noise reduction off, you will see how much noise is in here. Let me just zoom in a little bit for you. I'll zoom in 200%, and you can see a lot of noise in here. Okay, so let's have a look at what
King says, I recently beat Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Kristen says, I did my senior writing project on A Clockwork Orange. I hated it. As a whole damn dictionary to go with it. So stupid. I don't want to learn some made-up language to understand it. I've never seen it. I just know it's supposed to be like one of those really trippy, dark, twisted movies, right?
I did for this shot. I'm gonna put
Kubrick used a modified f/0.7 lens for his period movie Barry Lyndon to shoot a scene only lit by candles. Wow. The lens was originally made for shooting film on the moon. What? Kristen got a 99%. Nice. You added a comma where one didn't belong. How does it make you feel, Kristen, to think back to like the fact that in schooling we had to write essays and like do all that kind of stuff? Now these days people are just AI, you know, ChatGPTing everything. I don't even blame them for it, but it's like, yeah, it's like having a calculator now for your essays. King, you're asking, do I ever use a sick LUT? I'm a fan of the LUTs that I was using briefly with lens distortions. However, now I've been shifting over so that I want to create my own LUTs, right? So we had a whole exercise where I started to create a few. So I've only created 4 LUTs so far, and I'm gonna obviously create some more going forward. And we're going to have the dehancer LUTs as well to also consider. But I don't know how the dehancer LUTs work. I don't know if they only work within dehancer or if it works for anyone. I have no idea. I have no idea. But yes, eventually I'm going to have a whole library of LUTs so then I can sell it on my website because that is just the smart thing to do for someone like me. Can you imagine if I had my own LUTs and then I made my latest video about the Chimp Island Sanctuary? I feel like I could have gotten a few people purchasing my LUTs from that, right? So this is like those kind of things where I'm like, I need to light a fire under me in terms of being better at prioritizing and just being a better businessman. So the F07 Zeiss is legendary. Okay. My collection of Zeiss lenses keeps growing. I don't have any of them. Damn. I think it's funny to hear when you use it, you knew the Borat answer before ChatGPT. Yeah, but I forgot which one it was. I was like, there's like Borat, but then there's something else, right? The Dictator. He's done a few of those kind of wacky stuff.
Fit. I'm going to bring up a couple of scopes here. So we're going to have our parade and our vector scope going on. And let's just switch that on and off. You can see quite clearly the noise even in the scope. So what I'm going to do in this is I'm going to reset that noise reduction. I'm going to build it from scratch. So on your scopes, make sure that you don't have this selected. It's a low pass filter, and what that does is filter out noise on the scope. So we want to see the noise on our scopes is our first tip. All right, and then what we're going to do is come over to here. So we've got our motion effects. So this is just selected from here, this row here, and we've got two different types of noise reduction. We've got temporal noise reduction and spatial noise reduction. Motion blur on the end here is just in that category. It's not noise reduction at all. It's just it's literally motion blur. So sometimes it can help disguise it, but it's not part of noise reduction. So temporal noise reduction is looking at forward and backward frames in time. So what it's doing is taking a single frame that you're on, and depending how many frames I select here, up to 5, will depend how many frames forward and backwards it looks at changes in the shot, thereby determining what could be noise. Okay. Now, once you go above 3 into 4, 5, your system literally will grind to a halt. Okay, it's really, really slow performance. I've got a really fast Mac here. When I go into 4 or 5 frames, temporal noise reduction, my system pretty much grinds to a halt.
Yo, what's up, Maple?
I generally start at 2, and I often.
Kubrick actually retracted Clockwork Orange from being available to view in Britain after seeing the effect it was having on people. Wait, do I need to watch this movie? It was unavailable for quite some time there. But is it like one of those really disturbing movies? Like Old Boy? Maple, what's up? Says, you know what's hilarious? Apparently the guy I've been doing some jobs for in Montreal for the rock music blog is childhood friends with Darren Mawson. Hey, isn't that the guy we're watching right now? Wow, what a coincidence. Welcome, Maple Glades. Hope you're doing well. By the way, I do want to pick your brain about something later, Maple. So if you see me DM you randomly at some point in the coming days, do not be alarmed. Do not block me. I'm just asking for some brainstorming. Kristen says, Feder, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. Man, you guys are filled with knowledge. Maple says they were literally talking about him starting his YouTube channel. It's cool to see how he blew up as a reliable source of video. Yeah. So who recommended this? I think Fed. Yeah, Fed recommended me watch this video because I was getting stuck with my noise reduction. And I watched one of his videos, or a few of his videos before as well. So yeah, I thought it was excellent. This guy clearly knows what he's talking about. And then I was just thinking randomly earlier about his video. I think Colin Kelly as well. They don't put background music. They just kind of speak. And there's something kind of liberating about that from a YouTuber's perspective, because obviously that's one less thing you need to worry about when you make your videos. But I still can't figure out if, for my style, if I want to do YouTube videos with or without background music. But it's definitely a trend I've seen. Can you make the video a bit larger? Oh, yeah, of course. Faux show. Hold on, let's... There we go. Clockwork Orange has a particularly hard to watch SA scene. Okay. At least at the time. Is it like Kite Runner? Man, that was also very dark. I love the... No, I never read the book. The movie was amazing. But there was like a scene in there. It was like really, really hard to watch. And I was pretty young. At least at the time it was, in the social commentary it has. DM me? Yes, I will. Thank you. We're better than ChatGPT? Yeah, for sure. You're real. That's... Actually, what if it turns out none of you guys are real? Man, that would be... I'm sure they're going to make a movie about that at some point, right? There must be some kind of plot twist where you're talking to just ChatGPT the whole time. You thought these were real people. What's up, BD? BD says, good day, people. Hello, Beatty. Welcome. And Maple Glades as well, just as an FYI. I've made a few changes to the stream, including I've got a dedicated cat camera for Nala over here. And someone that I'm close with, who I hadn't seen in a while, gifted me my freaking name on a LED sign. How crazy is that? So now I finally can advertise myself for free there. And then I think by tomorrow I'm picking up the new Nikon ZR, so I should be able to replace all of these cat cameras with like the mirrorless gear. So it'll be a bit overkill, but we're gonna have fun with it. But yeah, welcome guys. Welcome. Chat is all knowing, yes. Fed says we're the chat GPT. Yeah, I appreciate that. What's up, Swiss Army Cinema? Yo, Swiss Army. I was just mentioning you earlier on. I think I was mentioning you to maybe it was Fed. But just FYI, Swiss, you are now, there's a few people in the chat who are also really well versed in the world of cinematography, director of photography, film. BD does like proper film production stuff for like theater. Actually, BD, honestly, I have no idea. Like, your resume sounds like you do everything. But yeah, I think Maple Glades, you are also a DP, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or I know you do like film projects here and there throughout the world. And so yeah, Swiss Army, welcome to the community. But Swiss Army had joined yesterday. And by the way, Swiss, I think I've fixed the network connection issue. Although I'm not streaming to Kick anymore, so that was the sacrificial lamb. But I do think, hopefully, the whole delay and buffering should be resolved. Swiss says, am not a bot, just as a bot would say. Exactly. Mabel says, I love this cam. It's lovely. Thank you. You're a proper channel now. Literally so many more angles than everyone else. Yo, I'm going to add some more, too. We're going all in with this, okay? But this one for sure. So I'm using a 2470 f2.8 lens at 35 millimeter focal length. And then I've got an ND filter, a variable ND in front of it. And then it's on a Z9. So I'm keenly aware this is kind of overkill. But if I have a Z9, why not use it, right? If not friend, why friend shaped or something. And then I'm going to get an overhead camera soon. So I might even switch out that Logitech and just have it pointing down for like an overhead whenever I want to do like some product reviews or show something, or we can do some whiteboarding. I don't know. Have some fun with it. And then eventually I wouldn't mind putting something at the top of the bookshelf for like an overhead behind the scenes kind of a shot. So hold on. Joel Bell, you need to host creators on your streams like Fed and Kristen. I would love to. That is one of the things that was on my to-do list for month 3, which is I wanted to test out doing like the voice calls and video calls through Discord. But I think I was having some issues with my voice calls and the video calls where like for whatever reason it wasn't connecting. And I don't know if it's because I need like a VPN service, right? Because I use ExpressVPN. So I don't know if there's like a weird thing. I have no idea. But for some reason I wasn't able to use the voice call feature or the video call. But yeah, I would love to do collaborations and stuff. Maple says, not a proper DP or anything, but I do a lot of shooting and am a one-man workshop. Gotcha. Yeah, Swiss Army is a DP. I think, Swiss, you said you're traveling to Uganda shortly, and you've done projects in Ghana and a few other places. So, yeah, this is what's so exciting for me. I was like, yo, it's kind of fun to think, like, if I could be not responsible for, but if there's a community that grows through whatever I do every day, and within that community are like some of the most creative people who can then collab with each other or just like help each other out, that's so cool. That's a cool concept to me. So I have to make sure to keep things spicy and entertaining. So join the Discord if you're not on it already. Swiss seems very familiar name. Sure, I've seen you before somewhere. Swiss Army Cinema. It's a good name. Your Skynet. I don't have phone memory for Discord. Oh, you need phone. Oh, I guess. Okay, fair enough. Do not worry about it, Kristen. We'll wait for you. Maple says, might want to lock the focus on the cat. Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right. I think I just have it on autofocus. But the thing is, I have it. Yeah, you know what? We'll lock it in later. For now, it seems to do a decent job. Yeah, like right now it looks okay. Let me bug her real quick. Oh, I can do the crane thing now. Hold on. I think it should go right here. Oh, how do I miss? Yo, why is my depth perception so bad? Jesus. Okay, there we go. Good girl. Time for a new phone. Yes. Equipment will never be the limit of my creativity. Yes. That's why it's important to ball out on the best equipment. Oh yeah, Swiss. What did you say? You're using some crazy camera gear, right? And then oh yeah, Fed is the one. Swiss Army. I think Fed is the one I was mentioning, who has the Blackmagic Pixis 12K. Is that right? BD says a lot of traditional film and television projects, but a lot of very complex. Okay, so this is what BD does. So BD does traditional film and television projects, but a lot of very complex cinematic multicam with live color. 12 to 40 cameras. That's insane. Who the hell needs 40 cameras? Although, to be fair, that is kind of the direction that I'm trying to go in. If I can have, like, yeah, a bunch of cameras with, yeah, anyways. Another medical documentary. Oh, I see. We have shot for this client in Nepal, India, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and now Uganda. Yo, invite me to that next project if it's a paying project. I need to get paid, okay? I need a new phone. Not top of my list of priorities at the moment. It functions well enough for what I use it for at the moment. That's a good way to live through life, especially when you've got 8 kids or whatever. Yeah, I'm assuming you have to instill that into all your kids as well. As like, you know, money does not grow on trees. Sometimes immersive stuff. Oh, interesting. That affects depth perception. Oh, you're asking me? I don't think I have astigmatism. But I got, what do you call it? I got LASIK done. So technically my eyes should be fine. But okay, here's the thing. Growing up, I used to only put one contact in. Because I would just put in my dominant eye. And I realized that I could see just fine. And that was because I was partially lazy. And I didn't want to put in both contacts and take them out. So I think I was being lazy with it. And also, I think maybe I was trying to save some money. Because then I was able to double the, you know, the length of how long I could use my contacts. But that couldn't have been good for me, honestly, right? So maybe I messed up my depth perception after years of just putting one contact in. So, you don't know. It's just like when I try not to look and then just use the camera as a way to gauge it, I seem to always get it wrong. But I think this looks just about right. Okay, here we go. Let me switch cameras in 3, 2, 1, drop. I missed again. Not getting the 17K. Hold on. Fed has the Pixis 12K. Swiss owns the Raptor VV, or is that a W? Raptor VV. Komodo X. Z8, ZR, Z6, BM 6K. The first Pixboom Spark. Yo, yeah, Swiss. I was checking that out. That Pixboom Spark. Is that the thing? Does it shoot like what did it say? Is it like shoot some crazy 200? No, like 1,000 frames per second or something like that? That is insane. I shoot on Alexas for client work, but prefer red. I have the BMCC 6K2. Jesus. See, you guys are like all on another league. So that's kind of been fun for me because obviously a lot of the knowledge is going towards me, not the other way around.
2 frames backward. So the motion estimation type is faster, is obviously going to give you faster rendering but slower results, and we always want better. We always want the best results, so no point in putting that to faster at all. And the motion range here is saying how much motion is actually in the shot itself. So if I just put this into loop play, and then we just start playing, there's not actually a lot of motion going on in this shot. So what you're doing is helping the temporal noise reduction know how much movement should be in a shot. So if you're doing a whip pan, obviously that's a lot of movement. Okay, so we'll just put that to medium. So there's not actually any noise reduction applied yet because these figures here, luminance and chrominance, are still set to 0. Okay.
So temporal is more motion.
So as we start moving up, we start introducing noise reduction. And you can see that's going much softer already. And let's take it back off and we can see the noise. Now, one thing I do with this is I keep an eye on the scopes, all right? So watch, this is our RGB parade, so it's the red, green and blue channels. And this is vector scope, which is our saturation. And I'm gonna unlink these. So the first
Wait, what do you say? Vector
vector
scope is for?
Watch, this is our RGB parade, so it's the red, green and blue channels. And this is vector scope, which is our saturation.
Vector scope is about saturation? Okay, I didn't know that. Jump to the latest. Wait, why did it pause? Sorry, the chat kind of froze on me, so let me catch up. 1000 frames per second, 4K, 1800 frames per second, 1080. Dude. Okay, Swiss, I need to travel with you so that we can get some crazy wildlife in the slowest of motion. That's basically just a still. Up to 15,000. Like, when do you ever need this kind of stuff? That's so insane. For fireworks, maybe? When you way down on the sensor. We start shooting S2 of a series on the 3rd, and I'm not looking forward to it. What is S2? Season 2? Oh, Season 2. You're starting Season 2 of a series on the 3rd. Yo, BD, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I was just saying, a new show that I was watching is the Pluribus. And is that by Vince Gilligan? Was that who I was thinking? Pluribus director? Yeah. Is it Vince Gilligan? Yeah, Gilligan. Yo, it's only 2 episodes. I love it. It's like... so hopefully you guys will be proud of me. But as I watch new movies and TV shows, I generally do keep an eye out now for like just trying to sense, you know, like in terms of different shot lists or like the shot techniques, you know, the focus pools. What are they doing? Where do they position the composition? Where is the subject placed? I do try to keep an eye out for that now. And now, in addition to it, I am focusing a bit more on like the color grading style of things or the lighting, like where we like, you know, how did they light the scene? So it's been fun. So I'm like personally very happy that while I don't have the answers yet, my brain, I guess, is a bit more wired to be aware of those kinds of things now. So hopefully as I keep watching movies and shows, I'll capture more of the techniques that are happening. And I try to like take notes of it so then I can look back at it in the future. So yeah, one day we will also be some kind of celebrated filmmaker, okay? We don't know how long it'll be. Maybe it's just in my dreams. It's available in Sweden now. Damn. You always wanted to move to Stockholm. It's time, Brody. A lot of people on the other side of Norway like to go over the border to Sweden to do shopping, but I like all the way over on the other side. Ooh, okay. BD says, and the wonderful part is that execs are mentally or literally checked out for the holidays. Oh yeah, it's November. So it's gross in terms of how fast things move, even starting now. The city becomes a barren wasteland. Ooh, okay. It's times like these which the union we used to have with Sweden would make more sense. You mean like an actual union? Swiss says, I will use it for a food client I have, also for some of our drone designs. Oh, food. Yo, you can totally turn that into like a... If I owned a 1000 frames per second camera, I would 1000% create a TikTok or an Instagram channel just doing the, you know, like the slow-mo. There's a few of those channels, right, where they just do everything in slow motion. You're basically owning something that 99,000, you know, percent of the world population, whatever, nobody owns and nobody will ever own. So you should absolutely turn that into like crazy content. Oh, you know what you could do? You can do like a bird watching or a bird hide and do a slow motion of a freaking hummingbird. That would look so cool. I think it's already done, right? But like to see a slow motion of a hummingbird would be amazing. BC is gambling it all. Yes. Or for aviation. Yeah, if you had 1000 frames per second on like on a capturing a fighter jet or something. How's it going, BC? Hopefully you're doing well. Did you win it? Big dubs. Yo, you're closer to 100K now. Kristen's asking, is there a train you can take? Oh, for yeah. Last union was with Sweden until we threw them out. Nice. You just taking a test and just heard? Gotcha. Birding is a great idea. I have a friend that is... Why is this? How do I get rid of that? I have a friend that is a crazy birder. Yo, all birders are crazy. It's like, what do you call it? Oxymoron? Or yeah, there's no, it's redundant. It's redundant to say crazy birder. They're all crazy. But we love them nonetheless. We're never allowed to shoot food in ad spots. Really? Oh, I guess you just have to be mindful of other brands. But okay. A train through Scandinavia would be nice. Ooh, yeah, like a slow motion of a train with all the smoke. Is that the ones in Scandinavia where this like bad for the climate, but it looks so cool with all the black smoke coming out? Food DPs and stylists come in and do their strange techniques for inserts. You get to Sweden just as fast by car. Okay. We're learning so much.
So the first thing we do is dial in temporal noise reduction in the Luma channel. And let's just look at our scope and see what's happening. So as I move that, you can see there's a point at which, and if you look around here, there's a point at which it takes out the noise and then it doesn't do anything anymore. So that would be a good point to start at. You just find the point where it kicks and then just come back a little bit. Let's have a look what's happening with the chroma. Okay, there's a little bit in the shadows there, as I'd expect. Okay, so just down in the shadows, that is being affected. Okay, but not so much in the highlights there. So somewhere around about there. So let's leave that set for there for now. The motion here this is helping with aliasing and artifacts that you might get on the image when temporal noise reduction is applied. So you can adjust that higher or lower amounts of motion. And the blend is obviously blending it back to 0. So if I have that back to on 100, I've actually effectively taken the temporal noise reduction off. All right, let's have a look at spatial noise reduction. What spatial noise reduction is working on a frame by frame basis, so it's much more accurate than temporal noise reduction. It's literally analyzing the image and it's trying to keep as much detail as it possibly can. So it's a far more intelligent noise reduction, but again, this is much more processor intensive. So
for Starlink, my director found out I'm bringing it to Uganda. Now I'm stuck making proxies for the editors and uploading it on site each day. Ooh, you just made more work for yourself? Nice. Wait, how does that process work? So when you're saying every day when you film, then you have to generate proxies? What do you mean by that? Or are you saying you take like the MP4s, or you're saying like within DaVinci you have to render them as proxy? Or yeah, I'm curious. There's a Norwegian TV show where you could watch trains in real time. It was popular in other countries. Apparently Americans loved it. We love the weirdest shit. Maybe Minnesotans, yeah. They called it the slow TV revolution. You could watch a ship go along the Norwegian coast in real time. Oh, DaVinci Cloud editing. Okay, I think I understand. So basically you would need to load it in to DaVinci, and then you generate a proxy, but then you guys are working off of some kind of cloud subscription or like that team space. So then they can see it on their end, or do you have to then download those proxies and then Dropbox it or put it into the cloud? Either way, it sounds like a lot of work. By the way, Swiss, I just saw you say yep. How long was is there a long delay in terms of when I respond? I do hope now that we switched over to this ATEM thing that the lag issue is resolved. Man, yesterday was the worst though. Yesterday there was something weird going on. That was like 5 minutes of lag. About 60 seconds? Okay. I can accept that. What, can I? No, I can't accept that. 60 seconds? Hold on. 60 seconds. That's way too long. Hold on. Let me do my little test here. Okay. So I just switched scenes. 5 seconds. 6. Okay, so on YouTube it's about 7-second delay. And then Twitch, I don't know. I wasn't checking. The southern train here takes 8 hours from my city to the capital, Oslo, for example. It takes 8 hours to drive there by car too. You just said scenes? Oh, you know what? I don't know. On my end, I think I'm seeing that it's about like a 7-second delay on YouTube, and then I'll have to check Twitch later. Okay.
You've got your faster mode.
I'm so slow.
Work faster.
Hold on.
Okay, we want to work at least better. The radius is the amount of softening or blurring, if you like, that the spatial noise reduction is going to apply to the image. So we want to keep this as small as possible. So start with small. If you need to build it up, we can go higher. So next we've got the threshold for our spatial noise reduction.
Oh, shoot.
And Luma and Chroma.
Wait, he said he puts it on small. I think I put it... okay, I need to redo my power grade because I put it on medium. So it sounds like it's better to do medium for both. No, sorry. Medium for the temporal and small for the spatial. Damn it. I'll just do it here first. So small. And he's got 2 frames for temporal. I should have paid attention better. I don't know why I'm doing it, but we'll just do it. Also, he detaches the chroma and the motion. Jesus. Okay, should I have been paying more attention? Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh, I missed the heist. 13 seconds to see on your screen. Sorry, I'm catching up on some chat. Might actually be faster by car now. Not bad, honestly. I will take that. Way over 2 minutes. Yeah, yesterday was too much. But I think it's fixed on my side at least.
Are actually locked together.
Okay, I need to rewatch this temporal thing. I wasn't paying attention.
So temporal noise reduction is looking at forward and backward frames in time. So what it's doing is taking a single frame that you're on, and depending how many frames I select here, up to 5, will depend how many frames forward and backwards it looks at changes in the shot, thereby determining what could be noise. Okay. Now, once you go above 3 into 4, 5, your system literally will grind to a halt. Okay, it's really, really slow performance. I've got a really fast Mac here. When I go into 4 or 5 frames, temporal noise reduction, my system pretty much grinds to a halt. I generally start at 2, and I often will just stick at 2. I want 2 frames forward, 2 frames backward. So the motion estimation type is faster. It's obviously going to give you faster rendering but slower results, and we always want better. We always want the best results.
Of
so
course.
There's no point in putting that on. So faster at all. And the motion range here is saying how much motion is actually in the shot itself. So if I just put this into loop play, and then we just start playing, there's not actually a lot of motion going on in this shot. So what you're doing is helping the temporal noise reduction know how much movement should be in a shot. So if you're doing a whip pan, obviously that's a lot of movement. Okay, so we'll just put that to medium. So there's not actually any noise reduction applied yet because these figures here, luminance and chrominance, are still set to 0. Okay, by default, these are linked together. So as we start moving up, we start introducing noise reduction, and you can see that's going much softer already. And let's take it back off, and we can see the noise. Now, one thing I do with this is I keep an eye on the scopes. All right, so watch. This is our RGB parade, so it's the red, green, and blue channels, and this is.
Swissy said Kickstart just ended on the Nebula X1 Pro. What is that? Nebula X1 Pro. Kickstarter. You can fly to Sweden too, of course, but then it starts getting way too expensive to be worth it. I think the plane takes about half an hour, so you spend tons of time at the airports. I need to plan this trip to, I think you guys convinced me, was it Norway, to do the dog sledding? Or no? For the tribe, the reindeer tribe. Finland versus Norway. I forget which one is better to go to. World's first mobile theater station with 4K laser.
You know what? My dad bring me the big gun for our movie night. Oh yeah? My dad got something new too. Come on, Dad!
I'm invested in this. Who's gonna win? Oh, what is this? Yo, am I gonna get copyright struck? All right, we'll have to cut it out.
Wow!
What the hell? Wait, hold on. What just happened?
Cheers, bro. What on earth is that?
Yo, acting impeccable. Never seen better.
Guys, you see all that? Tom did it all by himself. All to make tonight's party perfect. My Tom, he's basically a tech genius. To be honest, all this is sweet.
Yo, what is that accent from? That's not American, right? Sign me up for that shoot. Yo, Swiss Army, I'll absolutely reach out to you, man. I want to do a trip through Mongolia and either Finland or Norway, maybe both. But basically, I want to do a documentary film around the reindeer tribe, right? And it'd be cool to go to Mongolia. And then apparently, I didn't know, but from the people in the chat. So shout out to all the Scandinavians. I don't know, whichever avians. Shout out to you guys because you let me know that there's a reindeer tribe in both Finland and Norway. So I thought that would be a fun film project where we can see the compare and contrast, if you will, of like the different lifestyles and how much is in common, even though they're separated by land and whatever else. So they should have hired us for this. Yeah, and then I want to do a dog sledding thing because I did the Chimp Island Sanctuary, so I think it'd be fun to continue in that vein of like trying to find stories where humans and the wild kind of connect, right? So obviously dogs much tamer than wild animals at this point, but like the concept of dog sledding and the tradition of it, over the years for whatever. The eagle hunters, of course. You had a guy here who won something with the sledding team that time. Yeah, it's Kavai, I think. Kavaitsu in the chat. Projector's cool. Oh yeah, sorry, let's keep watching. But I can't get over this accent. What the hell am I listening to? What is this?
Cater for me, but he handles like it's nothing. Relax. He's got it under control.
Where is that accent from? I feel like I know someone who sounds like that. And, it's gonna bug me, but it's like I can't pin it.
Don't worry.
The reveal.
We'll take care of it.
What the hell?
Alright, everybody.
Wait, it's a karaoke machine as well? What is that? What did you just pull out? Was it a microphone?
Let's party!
No shot.
What on earth is that?
I feel like I've seen that actor somewhere.
Hey, bro, you're finally here. Check it out. My ultimate home theater. You'll never guess how much I paid for this. Comes with a full Dolby Atmos setup.
Sounds good.
DIY installation. Super easy. Oh, got it.
Oh, dude, that killed my ears. What the hell? Yo, what's up? L says, I'm just finishing up my business card. Yo, be interesting to see what it looks like. Finland is great too. Beautiful nature, and yes, the tribes are nomadic. That's the word. Thank you. So you find them all over the northern parts. I think it'd be super fun. What if I dog sled? No, I think previously we said I would go between the villages via reindeer. How crazy would that be, right? The projector is cool. High, bright 4K projector with 7.1 Dolby audio and sub all in one device. It's 4Gs. $4,000? I didn't even look at the price. I have too many lenses on my to-do list, or to-get list. My projector has lame sound, though I have an Atmos setup, so it doesn't matter. Interesting. So when you and I do a film launch, we got a projector. Bring a projector, play something for the reindeers. Oh, God. Holy. Sorry, guys.
Just take it easy. Why don't we go hang out at my place?
Why did they have to add that to the trailer? Dude, this thing is a machine. This thing is massive.
What the world is that thing? Mobile theater station. Sound Core Nebula X1 Pro.
What the hell? I feel like a drone's gonna pop out of this in a second. Sound above, behind, all around. Wow. Okay, that looks, I mean, it looks badass for sure. I've been burned too many times with Kickstarter though. I feel like for every one that I received, there were probably 5 that I got scammed out of my money. Okay, let me... let me kind of get these guys a bit closer. Okay, there we go. So this is our new node without any DCTLs. Oh wait, this one's a DCTL, isn't it? Damn. Okay, so we'll get rid of this one too then. So then basically I have my color correction steps here. Then the rest is color grading. And that's it. So this would be the non... Yeah, this would be the non... What do you call it? No DCTL version. Yo, Obi-Wan Shinobi says hello. Obi-Wan, I saw your photos. I think you sent it a while ago, so my apologies. I missed it before. But I saw some of the photos you had posted in the Discord. Cool stuff. We can check it out since you're here. You got it with the early bird price of $2,500. Yo, so they bumped that price up to $4,000. My Valerian Pro 2 in my bedroom is dope. 120. Wow, that's amazing. Obi-Wan, just as an FYI, we've made some changes to the stream, so hopefully the stream quality looks better. We've got our dedicated 2-cat camera set up on the stream. We're going to be updating this version soon. Hopefully by the next stream, it should be a higher quality, one of my Nikon Z cameras. And then this one, we went all in with my most expensive camera that I own, with a nice little lens. So, yeah. Wow, what a stream, huh? The chat is instant now too. Oh, thank Christ. Yeah, I made a change. So I owe something to Photo Elite. I don't know what, right? Hopefully not money, but hopefully he'll take a few thank yous his way. But he did tell me I should switch over to the ATEM, and I completely forgot about it. So I'm trying ATEM over Restream.io. Because as much as I enjoyed Restream, or like it does a job, but I kept having issues, especially with Twitch when it came to all the lag. So you need to have, might be 148. Oh, I see. You need to have a rotating overhead rig so we get a 360 shot of the cats. Yeah, you know, can you imagine if I get one of those auto tracking cameras? Ideally, I wanted to use all Nikon stuff, but obviously I can't realistically. But if I had one of those cameras that tracks, technically my Osmo Pocket can do that as well, right? So if it can somehow detect the cat and then it would just kind of follow it around, it'd be too much, because like I don't think it'd actually work in the long run. It would work for like a hot second, but yeah, I do think I'll put something up on the top just for like an overhead view, for fun. Okay, I was gonna check out. Yeah, so we got Obi-Wan in the chat, and Obi-Wan does one of the more unique genres of photography that I'm aware of, which is I don't even know how to describe what he does. Where's my Discord? There you are. So let me show it instead. So I think you posted it in the... Oh, you posted more. Oh, nice. Hold on. Let's take a pause from editing. I'm not getting much work done today. It's okay. Today's a wash. We're having fun. So I missed a few that you had sent before. So let's go through that now. And this is, I don't know if Primal's still here, but Primal had finished one of his digital designs for Halloween. And then, okay, let me just open up a bunch of these. Remind me, Obi-Wan, what do you shoot with again? What's your camera? Yeah, but, okay, so how would you describe what you do? You do figurine photography? Is that what it's called? Figurine photography? Or micro photography? I have no idea what you would call this. Is it like a form of macro photography? Go buy a bunch of old D3100s. Yeah, you know what? I guess I could just... Or somehow I can convince Nikon to give me a bunch of Nikon ZRs. And I'll be like, trust me, it's for the most overkill live stream in the world. The only thing I miss on the projector is the blacks of the OLED. Action figure photography. Thank you. Action figure photography. Who's this guy again? He's from Attack on Titan. I finished it all. It was a good show. Whatever the main guy is. My memory's so shite for these kind of things. I think his name was Aaron. No. One of the characters was Aaron. Was it the main guy? Was it him? Aaron. E-R-E-N. That's the only name I can think of, so we'll call him. This is Aaron. Aaron Yeager. Thank you. Christ. In his Titan form. Okay. The Valerian is amazing compared to most... Man, I don't even know what a Valerian is. So that's like a type of projector. Get a Raptor XL for live streaming. What is that? Hold on, sorry. I get distracted. I probably do have ADHD, don't I? Raptor XL. The V Raptor XL. Oof, that's bright. Whoa. Dun, 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 dun. Man, this is so insane. So imagine for someone like me, where I didn't know any of these types of cameras existed. So when you see, like, I just assume like it's the typical consumer looking cameras. That's what all cameras look like. So to see this kind of stuff, it's like, that's so insane. You're like having to assemble your own camera, like with 1,000 different accessories. And this is kind of one of the selling points that I tried to highlight in my ZR product review, is that I felt I had so many cinema quality features provided in a camera that still looks like a camera and still acts like a consumer camera, and without necessarily needing all the accessories. So like for someone, if you're trying to learn filmmaking and cinematography, I felt like the ZR was an excellent choice, especially at the price range, to be able to just have one device that does everything you need for majority of what you want. This is insane. It's like watching a James Bond movie of someone putting a sniper rifle together. But yeah, using this for the stream would be quite... What would be the word? Delectable? Delightful for sure. Delectable, is that a word? If so, this would be delectable. Kristen finally finished the test. Did you get the results right away? Each item costs a buttload of money. A single limo cable can be $150. Christ. Price of the OG Komodo has made me want to buy one just because. Is there a camera or lens brand called OG? Is there any product called OG? Because whoever does, yo, you're winning. Amber, is there any product out there that's called OG?
Well, there are actually quite a few products or brands that use the name OG in some way. OG is often short for original or original gangster, and it gets used in all sorts of contexts, like in streetwear.
Listen. I'm hip with it. Obviously, I know what OG stands for. Is there any tech products out there that's called OG?
Ah, gotcha. All right, so on the tech side, it's not super
Obi-Wan,
common
these
to
are
see
really
a big
epic,
name
by the
tech
way.
product literally called just OG. But you will see OG thrown around in tech circles as part of model names or as a nickname for original versions of things. For example, sometimes people refer to the first version of a gadget or device as the OG model. But if you're looking for a specific tech...
Okay, she lost me. Okay, so Obi-Wan, Shinobi. I'm just checking out your photos real quick. So here's one thought I had real quick for you, Obi-Wan. L says, or get a C700FF for a webcam, because why not? Man, I can't justify spending more money. Fed says, when I was little, my dad would let me drink the coffee if it got cold. For whatever reason, I enjoyed that as a child. Oh, okay. I didn't get the context. I was like, what's going on? Wait, the EVF is $4,000? What? And the EVF adapter plate is $750? Why? How? Oh, man. I can see why film projects pitch a lot of money, right? Okay, actually, Swiss Army, what is the average budget that people ask for like a travel film documentary type thing? I guess that's too broad of a question, maybe. If I want to make a short documentary film in another country, let's say use the Mongolia, Norway example. Is like 50K, is that like a ballpark where people are like, oh yeah, $50,000, that's a typical short film budget? Kristen says, I got 80% because I wasn't really paying attention. Hey, that's passing. I won't have to do it again for another 3 years. Nice. Just ball out. Didn't ask for nickname by fans. Yeah, you falling behind on the it lingo. Yeah, listen, I know I'm getting old. It is what it is. 6767, you know. Nikon Z67 OG is the first version, or the Canon 5D OG. Yeah. Oh, okay. And that red Airy is stupid priced. Just get an espresso. Like, nice. 150K for a regular Alexa 35 camera. Wow. You can get a great camera with a great EVF for the price of TH Aries, 3 Aries. Is that what you're saying? 50K is indie? Okay, 50K. I feel like 50K sounds like a reasonable number somehow. I'm assuming a lot of it goes to a crew and stuff. I don't know. How long is the runtime and how many crew? Okay, let's say a crew of we need a second cameraman. Let's say if I'm a cameraman as well, but I guess I could also be the interviewer, maybe. I don't know. So let's say if there's me, a second cameraman, and then a photographer would be nice, but probably unnecessary. But like, it'd be nice to have someone dedicated to just doing stills in an ideal world, but probably that might be overkill. A drone operator. Yeah. Oh, and like, I don't know if someone needs to do all the lighting and audio stuff, but I'm assuming between the camera people, we should be able to take care of that. So I guess for the bare minimum, it would be like a crew of, I could survive with 2. So just me and another person, just having a behind the scenes or a secondary person to film. If I'm interviewing someone, having someone just to hold the camera, that'd be nice. But I think that a crew of 3 sounds like a sweet spot. But also, I've been watching a lot of Naruto recently, and they always have a squad of 3. So maybe now I'm being biased because of it. But yeah, let's go with 3. And I would want to travel for like 2 weeks minimum, I feel. Actually, to be fair, I did that short film documentary, the Chimp Island. Technically, I spent 3 days, and we ended up, I was able to get a 5-minute documentary out of it. Technically, I have enough material to make like a 15-minute, maybe 30-minute documentary if I wanted to, if I have the time. So I guess 2 weeks that's just more like just buffer space to get to places and not rush. But obviously the expenses go higher. Sorry, I got a bit distracted trying to brainstorm what a project would look like. Now people do the whole cold brew. You started that trend? Yo, I love iced coffee. You will need big batteries to run these rigs. Then you'll need chargers for those batteries, which you need access to electricity. Are you ready? I'm definitely not ready, man. But listen, I'm excited. I do want to do stuff like this. I definitely, until my body, unless something unfortunately happens, right? In terms of like, I don't know, cancer, whatever, brain aneurysm. Generally speaking, I am like a very intense personality. And that's no different when I travel. Like, I go off of like 3 hours of sleep. I'm just, yeah, I'll just be out and about. So I know I can survive the most stressful, non-exciting, aggressive types of travels. Fed drinks. Oh, wait. Swiss, you said a crew of 3 to 4. So 3. DIR. What is a DIR? Or like the director? Director/producer. But what does a director/producer do? What, like, surely you don't have someone there that's just directing and producing and not doing anything technically speaking? Or like, I guess maybe I'm thinking from like a budget perspective. I guess for big projects you would dedicate one person for that. But let's say in a world where it's like you only have enough money and small crew of 3 to 4, the director/producer would also be a cameraman in this case then. The DP slash drone. Okay, so that would be one person. And what is an AC? Second camera? What is an AC? Audio after Christ. Fed drinks mostly espressos. Nice. Fancy. King says, Jobel, I will be Sasuke, you'll be Naruto, and Fed can be Sakura. Why is Fed Sakura? Multi-role peeps, how many production days? I have no idea. Listen, I'm kind of just spitballing here. I have no idea what like the right amount of any of this is. But like generally speaking, just, okay, taking the production out of it aside, in terms of what I usually find enjoyable and like the best duration for a trip, it tends to be like a week and a half to 2 weeks. Anything longer than 2 weeks, generally speaking, it becomes a bit rough because either, you know, your memory cards are getting full, or you know, you're getting so much good content that every day now becomes more of a risk of like, what if something happens and I lose all of this work that I just filmed in the past, whatever, 2 weeks. Also my cats, stuff like that. So I found that usually traveling about 2 weeks tends to be ideal, but I've also done several 1 month trips, and that's fine too. It's just, yeah, planning ahead, I guess. Bitter is a popular flavor in Scandinavia. There's lots of liqueur that are very bitter here, like the malurts they make in Chicago, which is brought here by the Swedes. Kristen's offended. Why is she not included? Yeah, Kristen could be Sakura, right? Swiss Army Cinema says 100% you would, but even on a small team, they will also do some tech work. But you need someone that is story focused and paving the way for your team. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I mean, given my, listen, like, we're not even out there for this. So I most likely would have to be I would have to pitch the story, I guess, and then also be the cameraman. But then, like I said, I'm trying to learn about the industry. And I don't know if there's like these kind of forums or community areas where people, you know, pitch themselves, or, you know, see, you know, they post their projects and people can pitch to be a part of it. I don't know. I have literally no idea what that world looks like. So she would also interview. Gotcha. Yeah. So like, I don't mind. Personally, I don't necessarily want to be the face of like documentaries and stuff. Like I'll play the role if I have to. And I guess because now I have a YouTube channel and like you know, I need to be business minded and be a brand, which means put my face out there more. So in that sense, yes, fine. But like, I'm more comfortable behind the camera. AC is assistant camera. Oh, we learned that. I think BD taught me that before and I forgot. So failed. Basically someone that can pull focus, build cameras, clone footage, etc. I think L said lurking. Well, yeah, thank you, L, for being here. I appreciate it. Enjoy your lurk. And sorry you lost all your peepees. It's fine. It happens. You are Eno and Swiss is Joji. Wait, is that a different genre? We usually go for a month to Spain, but we have a house there. Ooh, Spain would be nice. Yo, I need to go to Spain now just for the for that ghost links. Yo, how crazy to be able to capture that photo. Looks like a freaking Pokemon. Oh, sorry. Obi-Wan, are you still there? Oh, good timing. I think you just said you're sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me just catch up because I was supposed to go over your photos and then I got super distracted. Okay, so Swiss, you gave me some pricing. It sounds like a lot. It's FOMO. Yeah. That's a full professional. Okay. Obi says, sorry, I always think I'm not busy when I join your streams. Well, listen, my bad, because I was supposed to review your photos. I had some suggestions for you. So if you're still here as I'm catching up on the chat, do you have a hogfoot ham waiting for you in your Spanish crib? Ooh. For a crew that is very good at multi-role needs, really 2 people, but 3 is luxury. Okay, so 3 is luxury, 2 is ideal, maybe. Or 3 is ideal, 2 is practical. I'm safe for now. Okay. So Obi-Wan, I was going to say, I don't know, because of the line of photos that you do, where, you know, these are not, what do you call it? Real humans, obviously, right? And like not like skin tone. So they look almost like they should look very close to their cartoon or comic or manga anime versions. I wonder if like, would it make sense to find, let's say, if you look up a bunch of shots from Attack on Titan, and then just to get a general sense of what is the color science, or like what is the kind of like the color palette that seems to be used a lot, and then try to mimic it in your shots. So like I noticed in yours, the skin tone of Mr. Jaeger over here is more on the yellow side, right? Or yellow brown. I have no idea. I don't know how to describe it. But then I would wonder, I'd be curious if like, if you go through a bunch of the Attack on Titan to kind of get a sense of how did they color grade, if you will, for their characters. I don't know if it's possible within Lightroom to be able to like take a sample image and then ask it to do it to replicate, but also that takes away the fun of learning. But I either way, I'm saying like if you have this side by side as a comparison and then try to adjust the temperature of the skin tone to match, or even the background to match with whatever seems to be like the style of the series or whatever. Just a suggestion. I think otherwise, yeah, I mean, these are epic. I like your compositions here. Yeah. So I think you said normally you have the action figures. There's like a pole somewhere that you end up photoshopping out. So that's cool. Yeah, love the poses and stuff. And then I think if you end up investing in one of those like a f1.2 lens or something crazy like that, there could be some fun stuff where you like intentionally just have only one eye focused and everything else blurry, or like, you know, the hand is outstretched and yeah, like intentional blurry on most things except for one point. And then shout out to Primal Nation for finishing this one. Primal Nation ENT. And Deadpool. Wait, is this Deadpool? Or I'm assuming so. I've never seen him in that black outfit. Yeah. Cool stuff, man. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that a lot. For my high-end jobs, I am like $1,300 per day plus travel plus gear, and this is built around a 10-hour day with overtime. So the creator world is just very different. Wow, that's insane. Insane in a good way. I didn't realize you can make so much good money from doing this. What am I doing? I need to be putting myself out there for these jobs. Not that people would trust me if all I've ever shot with is a ZR, and I don't even know how to operate these big boys. Obi-Wan says, yeah, his Titan switches styles a lot. Like sometimes he's a reddish pinkish, sometimes he's very dark or tan. The idea with this was the color grade. I was just giving his eyes a cool glow effect. Yeah, no worries. By the way, I'm not saying what you did is wrong. It's just I just had the thought pop in my head because I was like, oh yeah, like because you have the luxury of seeing what the artist visually portray their characters in, I guess you could technically just use that as your starting point if you need to like figure out what color did they make this person's exact outfit or the skin or whatever, and then like go off of it. X-Force is a comic run. Okay. We tend to you got to up your game, says Kristen. You have the talent for it. Thank you. Yes, we will. That's what I'm doing. You know, that's the goal. Is even having this conversation is because I am genuinely interested of like just understanding that workflow. Yeah. Thank you though. We tend to make back the plane tickets by the cheap living when we stay for a month, of course. That's when you don't have to pay for hotels. Yeah. Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, exactly. Hard part is those days aren't every day. And for that job, we're responsible for about a $1.5 million kit. How do you get insurance for that? Actually, I'm kind of jealous because I think in the US you can do, there's like the photographers club or something where you can like insure your equipment. In Dubai, I struggle trying to get anyone to get me insurance for my gear. It's very sad. We did have to pay for the house, of course. Yeah. It's like my brother, when he was a window washer, he could make $130 an hour, but that isn't all the time. Fair enough, yeah. You know, okay, well, the one cheat code that I found during my, how would you say, during my time out of corporate, and as I've been trying to figure out what to do with my life to keep being out of corporate, it's doing the, unironically, spending time in corporate, using corporate events. So I would occasionally do like corporate event photography, and that pays really well, right? Like you can get paid, I think for some gigs I got paid like $2,000 to $3,000 for like a 1 to 2 day shoot. So like bang for your buck in terms of like doing freelance stuff. I was like, yo, corporate events, that's the way to go. But I haven't been putting myself out there. I don't even promote it. It's just the connections I have from the corporate world that reaches out occasionally. Because like the more time I spend doing that, if I build out a business out of it, obviously it can pay the bills, but the creativity, the things that I want to spend time and invest, like this, doing the streams, entertaining 1 month travels and going around whatever, like I would lose out on that if I end up trying to go down that direction of making money through like a freelance stuff, which is not something I'm passionate about. So yeah, so instead I'm burning all my money to do this kind of stuff. So we'll see when the money runs out. Insurance for that thing is crazy expensive, I can imagine. King says I could just get a place at Palm Jumeirah. Yo, I don't live near there. I used to live in Dubai Marina. That was a beautiful place. But then I told the story before, but my freaking landlord evicted me. But I took him to court, so I did kick his ass in court. But I don't live in Marina anymore, sadly. Dubai insurance was tricky, even for just the length of the production we did there. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just... Nobody wants to be on the hook for it. I was looking at the list of countries by how cheap it is for Norwegians to live and eat for a vacation. Dubai was the most expensive. No, you're looking at it wrong, Fed. The way to check is the freaking Big Mac Index. Everyone knows the Big Mac Index is the best way to tell the cost of living. Still cheaper than Norway, but figured it out eventually. The list was places with typical very hot weather. Okay, let's check out the Big Mac Index. I haven't checked this in a while, but I remember I was surprised that Dubai is actually not that expensive comparatively. Yeah, here's UAE. So at the top of the list, Switzerland, Argentina, wow. Uruguay, Norway. Oh, wow, you guys are... Damn, you're higher than United States. Costa Rica's high? What? Oh, and Norway jumped up 15%. Different. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm reading that wrong. It's 15% difference from the US. Oh, of course, because we Americans, we are the center of the world. So everything's compared. We're the benchmark. So Norway is 15% more expensive than United States for a Big Mac. And we all know Big Mac is the way to determine survivability and cost of living. Sweden is UK, Sweden, Denmark, Canada, Lebanon, Turkey, Poland, Colombia, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, and then United Arab Emirates. So even on the Big Mac scale, you would think the way that Dubai is perceived, you know, socially or whatever, you would think it's like super expensive, but it's actually not. And like, it's always a shock to people, but the majority of people who live in Dubai are expats, and of those expats, majority are labor workers, right? Like a lot from India, Pakistan, parts of Africa, Philippines. It's like a lot of service working jobs, things like that. So yeah, it's actually much more affordable than you would imagine. Sorry, I need to catch up on the chat. Swiss says, do you know the area they filmed the Pix Boom samples in Dubai? I didn't know that. Oh wait, hold on. Was it in the little thing? Let me check it out. Kristen says, Big Mac Index, what? You are way too American? Wait, does nobody use the Big Mac Index? I thought it was like a... I think we learned this in economics class back in university. And if you think about it, it should kind of... McDonald's is everywhere. So if you want a constant, you would assume something like a McDonald's, which is usually fairly... You know, fast food shouldn't be expensive. So... I feel like it's a good constant as a test, right? Hold on. The Pix Boom. Whoops. Spark. I might have missed this when you shared this earlier. What 1.2 f lens would you recommend? Obi-Wan is asking. You know what? Here's the thing, Obi, for like your action figure photography, I have no idea, because like obviously they're stills, so you can get as close or as far away, I guess. I have no idea. Generally speaking, I feel like if you shoot with a telephoto lens, it could just lend itself to very interesting shots though. So like, I don't know. I feel like the 85 is always a nice one to have in your arsenal. Like an 85 1.2 or a 105, something like that. Could be kind of interesting for the action, but also for anything, right? God, there's cat hair everywhere now. Who wants to even eat that abroad? Big Mac? Yeah, I'm not a Big Mac person. I'm a fish fillet. Filet-o-fish all the way. Dubai Bling is a masterpiece of Dubai cinematography. I've never seen it. We have higher salaries, so it makes for cheaper travel. Okay. Empty for photo ideas, but by the way, did you see my video on the Discord? Kavai, yo, we were just mentioning you earlier. I don't know if I saw your video. But yeah, we were talking about the dog sledding earlier. Okay, I'm checking out your video, but I can't show. I have to download and stuff. Oh, is this the Duolingo thing? Oh, you got your 1,000. Congrats. Yo, did you film all this? Sorry, I can't show it on stream right now because I have to like download and stuff. And the music, I can't hear the audio either. But from what the bit I could see visually, that looked like a very entertaining video. Was that your 1,000 days of Duolingo? Is that how it works? Yobel hates Whoppers. Yeah, I was never a Big Mac guy. I was all about that mystery fish. Give me that. You know what? I credit my strong stomach to two things, I guess. One is kimchi. Shout out to the Korean food culture. All the kimchi and all the fish fillets I ate throughout the world. Because that hardens your stomach against everything. It's like a good immune booster. We got to shoot at the Al Wasl Plaza, which was beautiful on top of the Burj Al Arab. Yo, Burj Al Arab is, yeah. Well, they self-proclaimed, what is it, like a 7-star hotel or something? I don't know. Maybe an old Russian one. It's definitely doable. Japan is just awesome travel. Yeah, Japan's, although I think it got cheaper. Trump screwed our economy over here with the tariffs. That makes no economical sense. So he effed up that index here. Yeah, listen, I don't like to talk about politics here because obviously it's very heated stuff. All I'll say is I'm glad I'm not in the States right now. It feels like just an overall shit show in every direction. Obi-Wan says, fair enough. I will do some more research. Feds, yeah, Obi-Wan, honestly, I don't know. Like, for what you do, like a wide angle obviously makes sense as well. Yeah, I just don't know. I think I want to upgrade my camera as well, but I don't have a big budget at the moment. Sorry, I think you said what you should. What kind of budget are you talking about? Like how much, if you were to upgrade your camera, like how much money are you willing to shell out for that versus like a new lens? Kristen says, I'm a foodie, so I want to try all the different flavors of food around the world. I want local food. Give me street food. There is really good international food in Dubai. IKEA is the gateway drug. There's also really good food in IKEA. Surprisingly so. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, you were saying something about in the Pixboom video, it was filmed in Dubai. Is this the video? No, it can't be. Man, looking at all these camera stuff is making me more feel like I want to get all the gadgets in the world. Oh, here we go. Sneak peek from our Dubai adventure. Oh, actually, I know that spot. It's like a famous spot. Hold on.
Every once in a while, something new comes around that changes the way you look at the world.
Swiss Army says, watch here.
When people first see it, when people hold it.
Hold on, let me just watch it on YouTube so I can speed it up. Swiss, if you try to send a link, I think sometimes the links get blocked on the chats. Obi-Wan says less than $500. My current camera total cost for the lens was like $175. You know, I keep saying this, although I should probably figure out a good Nikon equivalent, but I initially shot, my first camera was a Sony a6000 and it cost $500 at the time, and that was like maybe 8 years ago. So yeah, like even a mirrorless like that can do wonders. So, but I think there are cheaper options for especially your line of work. You might not even need like a mirrorless or anything like that. So my husband is making us steak. I'm making bacon Brussels sprouts. Oh man, I'm hungry now. We actually had Swedish meatballs earlier. It's got dancing on the first frame. Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait, this one has Dubai in it too, though. Here we go. Yeah, this is I think it's called the Shangri-La Hotel. There's a hotel where people, landscape photographers, they go here to get that really nice Shangri-La Dubai Hotel photography. I just wasn't as into like landscape stuff, but a lot of people do take that shot, especially at night, because then you get all the lighting and stuff. The issue I ended up running into with landscapes and these kind of stuff is that like you get so many versions of the same thing. Like everyone just replicates the same thing. One, you're probably limited in terms of where you can get this vantage point. So then it's just about like how different is your shot from others? Well, it depends what your shutter speed was, how much of a time lapse, how beautiful the sky or how dramatic was the sky on the time that you shot. Can you capture a lightning strike? That's about it. Otherwise, like, it tends to all kind of, it's like you're competing against so many people doing the exact same thing. And so it becomes a degrees of separation, whatever the phrase is for that. Oh, wow,
I think
that's cool.
The most surprising thing was the dynamic range. From high-speed cameras, you have never been able to expect something like that.
I used to have on a couple of shoots Phantom Flex on the Trinity one, and the technician of Phantom had a Ethernet cable.
Is the ski slope in the mall in Dubai? Yes, the ski Dubai is in the Mall of the Emirates. Ooh. I see what you're saying. I think Swiss, you're saying something about like food product stuff.
Is giving us more creative choices.
Kristen said, "LOL, that accent sounded like the Muppets, chef." I haven't seen any of the Muppets, or maybe I did when I was super young. I was trying my best to be a Swedish person, but I also don't know how to do accents, except for like a Chinese person, and I'm Korean, so that might still be racist. Pixboom Spark. Cinematics. Okay, we'll look this up. Hold on. Pixboom Spark Cinematic Slow Motion Camera Test 4K 1000 frames per second. Hands on demo. Now I got a window shop. Yo, that's the best thing to do, Obi-Wan. Just don't reach into your pocket for the wallet. You gotta separate yourself from that. Cinematic slow motion. Okay, so this one. Where's my mouse? And then that's a bed we have. We bought it at Skeeter here in Norway. What do you think is more important, the body or the lens? Oh, you know what? They're smarter, more experienced people in the chat than me for that. Oh man, that's a good question. Is the camera body more important than the lens? I mean, it's kind of a cop-out to say it depends, I guess. But like, because if you have an excellent camera body and you have a mediocre lens versus if you have a mediocre camera but you have excellent lens, for some reason I'm leaning more towards having a better body. But the thing is, like, a lens can be more long, like from a longevity standpoint. Obviously, you might grow out of the camera body. There might be an upgraded one. But the lens that you purchase could still end up being useful forever, right? So from like a longevity standpoint, I would say lenses. But like, I don't know. Man, I don't know. King respects Fed more. Obi says, I've only purchased one camera in my life, so I'd love to hear what everyone looks for in a camera before they buy one. Swiss is saying 100% the lens. Mark is also, hey, what's up, Mark? Mark is also saying lens. Oh man, apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. Or to be fair, I didn't give a good answer. I just said I don't know. But everyone's impulse is to say lens. Glass lasts. Yeah. Depends on the lens. Date the body. Oh, that's a good way to think of it. Date the body, marry the lens. Marry the body, date the lens, says Beatty. Oh, okay, so we got differing opinions. Interesting. Okay, so Beatty is saying marry the body, date the lens. Which also, I can see the point in that. Like, if you can rent, you can always rent out the other stuff. So that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like it just depends on the quality of the body, right? Like, if you have, Like, okay, if you have this Pixboom Spark cinematic slow motion camera, if you had a, wait, how expensive is this camera again? Did you say it's like $12,000 or something? Actually, I think this is going to be how I determine it. If you have a $12,000 camera body versus a $12,000 camera lens, I would 1000%, I think, at this point, I would choose the $12,000 camera body. Hands down. What do they say? 10 toes down? 14,000 when it retails? Yeah, I would say, yeah, in that case, at least at the high end, maybe, yeah, so it depends on the budget tiers maybe, but if you had a high-end $14,000 camera body versus a $14,000 camera lens, like, oh, in that case, that'd be like my 400 f2.8, something in that range. I would say the camera body because it's more versatile, right? Because you can swap out lenses, so you can use it for almost every project. Whereas if I have a 400 2.8 lens that costs me $15,000, I can't use it for every project, so it's going to be very limited in terms of usability. So it just ends up bang for your buck, not necessarily being the most useful if you have to make a choice. So you know what? I'm with Beatty on this one. At least for the most expensive, if we have to take the extremes are helping me kind of come to a decision. I prefer Norwegian meatballs, but I love Swedish ones as well. Both are popular here. The gravy and side dishes are different, and our meatballs are larger. King says, if we're talking Zeiss, Cook, lights, then lens, other lenses, the body matters more. Okay. Obi-Wan says, I've started something. I don't know. Is it controversial? I don't think so. But it's a good question. I guess I didn't really think about it. Kristen says, it's not racist, it's more stereotyping. Yeah. Exactly. 14,000 when it retails, 12,000 wholly. So many different projects require different looks and might lean into a different characteristic that a lens brings. Yeah, so I feel like the body just gets more usage, or like it's more usable for everything. Sorry, I need to catch up on the chat. I thought meatballs were all created equal. Swedish meatballs, what is even that? Yeah, actually, I don't even know what that is, or like what is different about that versus others. Do you make them or does your wife? I'm interested to learn the seasonings. Ooh, yes. There's no one size fits all. Are you talking about the meatballs now? I'm mixing up conversations here. There's no one size fits all. Stereotyping like claiming Norwegians were born with skis on our feet, which is partly true. Well, but one thing you guys do, we talked about this before, right? Don't you guys culturally, do you guys chuck your babies out into the snow and just leave it there to fend for itself and fight off the wolves? And then if it survives overnight, it's resurrected as a man or an adult. Zoom lenses, says Kavaitsu. Sometimes I do, but then, yeah, zoom lenses are practical. So then it goes back to like a question of practicality. And I feel like practicality-wise, having an excellent camera body could make more sense. But to the other points, I guess, like it just depends how good a like it depends on your budget. So like, if you have $500, let's say, is it better to purchase a camera body within that $500 budget, or is it better to have like a $500 lens, especially if in Obi-Wan's case, you know exactly the type of photography you're trying to do, or like your genre. So you already know the environment, the type of shooting set that you're going to be in. So in a certain, from one perspective, if you then spend $500 to get the proper lens, I could see much more value because you know that lens will always be used for all of your action figure stuff. Versus like a $500 camera body, how much of an improvement is that from your existing $100-something camera body? I don't know. There's absolutely no way I can purchase rehouse Soviet era glass that I may want for something. The difference is the amount of meat used and spices. When there's literally 5 or 6 that exist of them in the world. Oh, I say one in the world. The megapixels matter on the body though, or do I have that wrong? I think I mean the megapixels matter, but I've also heard differing things. Like if you're in low light circumstances, I think sometimes having lower megapixel could actually provide a better result, is what I've heard. Actually, I've never like kind of tested that theory. But also it depends what you're trying to use it for. Like if you're, what's up F Mead? Hello. Welcome F Mead into the chat. Thanks for coming back here. Yeah, so the megapixels matter to an extent, but like in your circumstance, Obi-Wan, you have control of lighting. You can put cameras on tripods. Your subjects don't move. So you can essentially make sure you have a clean shot where you shoot at like ISO 100 or whatever your camera's, base setting is. So you can control for that a lot more for your type of shoot. So then you can be a bit more specialized, I guess, in the camera body or lens that you want to use. And I don't necessarily think you need like a 50 megapixel camera or something like that for what you do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the megapixel is as important. Swiss says, check your Discord. I sent a link. Ooh, let's check it out. It's on Vimeo. Can I play this on Vimeo? Okay, so you sent me... This is Swiss Army... is a trailer we slapped together in like 2 days to hopefully get this documentary greenlit for funding. We shall see. Ooh, interesting. Yo, I just created a Vimeo account. Is it necessary for the filmmaking world? Is this like where you guys do your resumes and stuff? Or like your portfolio? I was thinking like maybe I need to build out my portfolio on Vimeo. Hold on, let me pause the music. I love how Kristen and Fed are like talking food shop right now. I'm getting so hungry. It's almost 9:30. You can use cranberry. Ooh. Obi-Wan says, you guys have given me a lot to ponder. Nice. Well, that's what we're here for. All right, let's check this out. So this is the trailer. The Curious Nature of Quaker Hill.
And I always wanted to know what was beyond. And I'm still trying to find out.
Shout out to Eric Lake. Yeah, I was gonna say, okay. Now I can pause and kind of talk through stuff. Raiden says, hello. Oh, it's gonna be the TTS voice?
Hello, my brother. I am sending this message to inform you that your house is overdue. If you pass another week without payment, you will be castrated. You and everyone you know will face dire consequences.
Joke's on you, I don't own this apartment. And I paid my bills. Actually, I paid it all today, so. Haha. Yo, this is epic, man. Damn. And you know what? I got flamed hard. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but apparently I don't know the first thing about using the proper text fonts. Because I'm a fan of Papyrus. So me and what's that guy? Whoever did Avatar? James Cameron. We're one and the same. But yeah, this looks great, man. Yeah, okay, let's just kind of take a step back. There's a few moments I wanted to pause because I was like, oh, that's so cool. Colors were amazing. I like all these effects. Now that I'm like, so this thing I saw with dehancer. So I know dehancer provides something similar. I'm assuming a lot of programs do it. But I thought that was a really cool feature. I sent you some more BTS on Discord. Okay, nice.
What was beyond?
And also, I love the sound. I felt like that was excellent in terms of the... Would you call it sound mixing? Is that the thing? Nice logo. Yeah, I like this subtle sound effects.
One who lets his days pass by without...
What were some of the other comments? Oh yeah, so even a shot like this, I wonder what was the frame rate for this? Or would this be an example where you end up using that Pix Boom thing? Raiden's asking, do you know any directors? I do not. Well, I mean, I don't know anyone in the space besides the people in the chat. Film guys or girls? Yeah, everyone in the chat. These people. Swiss Army, shout out. I think, yeah, the color of the eggs were insane. Like, this shot is beautiful. Is this... Wait, is this the cover image? Or what was the cover image? I feel like this looks like such a good... If it wasn't already, I feel like this could work. Oh yeah, you do have it here, don't you? Yeah, yeah. The shot itself, it just stands out. Like it's a beautiful composition, the colors. Same with the green here. Yeah, all these effects. I need to learn how to do these kind of things. Also, I was kind of shocked. I was like, yo. Beatty says, I'm not sure you want to know directors. Yeah, is that a thing? Sound design. Thank you. That's a term. Okay. Yeah, I like the sound design. Kristen says, my brother did a DNA test. I'm 2% Norwegian. Wait, your brother did a test and can determine your percentages? Look at the new images of the fireplace. Oh, okay, hold on. Whoops, wrong thing. Oh man, these shots look crazy. Hold on. Let's go to my Discord. Dang it. Man, I wish I discovered filmmaking at a young age. Although, to be fair, like, you know, everything happens in due time, right? But it's like, looking at this, I'm like, yo, I'm glad I'm starting now, basically is what I'm saying. There's so much, it's like such a fun place to try to make a living, I think. Versus what I used to do, like business-related economics, corporate job. It's like, oh, there's nothing fun about that. That's crazy. See, I need one of these kind of, what do you call these? Is it like a C-clamp? Or what do you call these, like, clamps? I need something sturdy like this one. So this is, so you're saying like all the, I think Beatty said it as well, or I think everyone says it, but like, so usually the pros use manual lenses, and then you're using this kind of focus puller thing. But then if it's hooked up towards the ceiling, then I guess you have to remotely do the focus pulling if necessary. So then is that what all of this rig is for? The fireplace is famous. Oh yeah, I looked at the, oh yeah, we looked at the shots yesterday. Let me open this up. But yeah, this is so crazy to me. Like, just looking at all the devices. So you have your camera, whatever this camera is. Is this a red something? Oh yeah, it says red right there. So you have your red camera with this crazy looking... Oh, is this that Dezo film? Or I forget what it was. Ozo film or Dezo film, whatever. 35. Then you have this DJI. See, I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to recognize any of the things I see here. The only thing I recognize in this entire shot is that this is a roof and those are walls. And that's about it. Cardellini clamp. Okay. Raiden says that's crazy because I'm majoring in economics. Raiden, don't change your yeah, stick with economics. It'll save you in life. Or actually, I don't know. Coding, I guess, maybe. But then again, AI is going to take over everything. Yeah, actually, I don't know. If I were going into university these days, what would I study? I feel like you would want to study something in the creative field, perhaps. Or actually, I don't know. Damn. I have no idea. F Mead says, people say that if you're having fun, you never work a day in your life. Yeah. They do say that, don't they? But also writing and filmmaking. If there's leftover meatballs, we often set them on buttered bread with caramelized onions. Yo, what am I going to eat for dinner today? I use the red app to control the camera and a Tilta remote for focus. Kavaitsu says, would the budget version of the setup be Spider-Man style hanging with your legs from that bar? You know what? I bet that's basically what I've done. I've been on film projects, or like I say film projects, but like when I did a trip or a few of these things where I was filming, I essentially was hanging half my body over the railing at a pretty high altitude just so I can film two people having a conversation. they did like a long conversation. So I was literally hanging out half my body, and I was using one of my legs to kind of wrap around the pole so that hopefully I wouldn't fall. So you make do, with the budget. That's the OG Komodo. I see. I hate coding. Vespids from DZO. DZO Films. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure you would want to pursue coding at this point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like every industry is going to be kind of obsolete thanks to AI. So then, actually, that was one of the reasons I've decided to go in the direction that I have in terms of content creation, forcing myself to put my face out there, doing these live streams, YouTube, whatever. Because I feel like if there's one thing that AI can't replace, or it's going to take longer to replace, is being me, right? So if there's one thing I can do that AI won't hopefully take over, is just being myself. And then hopefully, even if AI can be a better version of me, it's just not me. So then if you can build up a community of people who enjoy you for who you are, and somehow you get paid to be yourself, like, yeah, then AI can't really take over that, right? That was my thought process. One of the thought process I had. Okay, so you said there's an SDR transmitter from the DJI. What is the DJI for, though? Yeah. Like, what is the purpose of this DJI thing for this? Because what do I think about DJI? I think of drones, gimbals. So is it... I didn't know they do other things. That's how little I know. Raiden says, I used to make video games and I 3D modeled a lot and realized how much I hate sitting at my desk. Yeah, do something active. Unless you're highly skilled at it already, yeah. Vibe coding is cool and useful. Yeah, these days, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going into space. I feel like recognizing or understanding that kind of technology, or learning how to use AI to be better at technical stuff, I think is good. Small HD Ultra 5 monitor. Okay. Man, you're losing me though. I need a pen to draw out like every one of these things. This is that. This looks like a battery. Although I'm still sitting on my desk, but it's more fun than C# and Unity. You have the OG Vespids. Fed has the OG Vespids. That's the DZO film lens. Okay, we're learning. What herbs do you put in the meat? Kristen, thank you very much for being here. I'm so glad that we're getting to mix in some freaking fancy tech level camera gear stuff, and sprinkle through that is a bit of herbs and spices and Swedish meatballs. We have to call the Vespids OG Vespids now that the 2s are out. Oh, I didn't... Wow. See, I'm lost in all of this. This is the video to your AC monitor for pulling focus and for the director to see the video feed. Okay. Wow. Thank you very much for the lessons. i7 Player 1 says, what's going on today? Hello, i7 Player 1. Everything's going on today. Today's a fun day of stream. I've hopefully fixed a bit of the stream lag issue. RIP to my Kick stream, however. So I don't know if we're going to have to retire Kick forever, or hopefully I can fix it on the next stream. But yeah, I was doing a bit of video stuff. So I was trying to work on my power grades. Technically it's all ready. I just need to export it now, and I need to export the dehancer LUTs. We're taking a bit of a detour just to check out someone in the chat. Swiss Army Cinema has sent over some photos and videos in the Discord of one of his film projects. Is this the same project, or this is like something you're working on now? That's so crazy though. Hold on. I need one of these guys as well. What do you call this thing? I have one of these C-stands for my light in my, to my left. But I need one of these kind of horizontal poles. Yo, that would be cool. If I can get a horizontal pole, and then I can have an overhead camera just in general. Insane. And, Swiss, you said, okay, I just got distracted checking the difference between male-female DNA. Apparently, I would not have known my father's DNA profile without my brother's DNA. Oh, is this... Yeah, listen, I'm lost with all of that, too. Oh, hey, my cat's awake. What are you doing? Nala. Good girl. Yeah. Swiss Army, are these photos... or like still frames from your video. Either way, I mean, it's like, man, I love this. I want this kind of aesthetic for when I do overhead shots, like when I do product reviews and stuff. I would love to like figure out how to dress up my desk when I need to do some like, you know, physical prop overhead B-roll. This is really cool. Damn. Lowell Thomas, National Broadcast. Oh, is he like the founder of NBC or something? I saw there was something else there. It was CBS. I like how soft everything looks. Like vintage and soft. Oh, nice. Yeah, all of this is so crazy. So, Swiss, or I guess everyone, BD, Swiss, Fed, when you guys do these kind of film stuff, I'm assuming you guys end up renting a lot of stuff as well if you're like traveling somewhere. So I would assume you have to rent a bunch of gear especially if you're doing like traveling to another country. You rent most of it, and then what would you take? I guess, yeah, you own a few key pieces and then you rent the rest. Because I can't imagine like how you would travel with all of this crazy stuff. No video, stills from the video. Gotcha. Ungraded. Just Rec 709. Wow. Just Rec 709. Hot off the cards and a pinch of allspice. That is 2 triple riser junior stands with the 13 feet paper roll bar. It's just strong enough and still very portable. Okay. And Kristen is 49% France, 40% Ireland, 3% Scotland, Germanic Europe, and 2% Norway and England, and 1% Iceland. Yo, hold on to that 1%. Just salt and pepper. Salt to hold the meat together like hamburgers, but you can add some garlic if you like. It's beefy. Yo, we need to do like a food stream. In progress now. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing these behind the scenes, if you will. This is like 20 minutes from my house, so this is all your gear. Damn, okay. Do you ever rent out your gear? Is that like one of the things you guys do if you have expensive stuff? Or is it so expensive you don't trust it? But I assume it's so expensive that renting it could also be a way to make the money back from how much it costs. BD says, depends on what it is. We have a refined logistics pipeline to get anything anywhere because some of the things we use are not easily available everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Swiss, you said, for travel stuff, I pare way down depending on the need. Current or when I do coaster work. What is coaster work? Oh, you like the literal like a roller coaster work with that crew. We travel with like 29 Pelicans. Oh, by the way, is Pelican better than the other brand? I used is it called the Nanut? No. Nanlite? No. Pelican versus Nanook. I've used the Nanook for a few travels. That 1% Iceland was a surprise to us all. Nice. Does that give you some rights when you go to Iceland? Can you get like at least stay for free? Get a free hot springs entry? BD says, but cameras and normal glass, yes. Batteries, yes. Okay, so like, okay, fair enough. So the basic stuff I say basic, but those things you take, it's like probably the specialty glass we have to ship out. Wow. People rent out their gear for extra income. I couldn't do that. People have bad habits and I take care of my gear. Yeah. Sent a photo of my gear area on Discord. Ooh. And by the way, feel free to send it in the Discord as well, or like the Discord community, if you'd like. But hold on, let me see. Holy crap! Wait, what? Swiss, what is this? Sent a photo of my gear area. You said Pelican is OG case. Yo, this photo is so big. I have to zoom out to. I guess I was already zoomed in a lot. Never mind. Maybe they'll give me honorary citizenship, 1% of a passport. Beatty says we own a lot of gear ourselves, but usually don't rent it out. Okay. And Fed is making me very hungry. You add breadcrumbs to your meatball. I wrote IG. It's not showing in the chat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I need low base in the chat because I think he's the one who helped me set up some of the chatbot stuff. Okay, so Swiss, you're saying this is all your gear? How? Man, that's a crazy amount of drones too. Damn. Here's what I would say, Swiss. With all the gear that I see here, I want you to just think about it. Just think about selling just whatever's in one of these cases. I want you to pull one of these boxes out, sell everything that's in that box, and then use that money to subscribe to all my stream platforms. The tier, whatever the highest tier that I've got. Just put all that money in there. Think of it as an investment. That's all. How do you collect all this? Yeah, I have no idea. I can't even comprehend how much time it takes to have this amount of stuff. Damn. It's kind of cool. How do you have these drones? Is this just like a wooden pole and then you just nailed a bunch of... Oh, I see. It's got these hooks. Okay. Yo, this is fascinating. Damn. I like how out of all this, you've got a water bottle just chilling over here. That's the one thing that stands out. Fujinon back focus chart. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to recognize any of the things that I'm seeing here. Oh, I've seen DeWalt. I've seen that brand before. Damn. I'm assuming these are all the dead bodies are in here, right? Every single one that says empty, that's like nothing to see here. Nanlite. Is that the other one? So there's Nanlite, Nanook, Pelican. Gear that belongs to rental house. Hold on, I missed a few things. I rent my gear, not my friends. Okay. If you search for Norske Kajotkaker, you can see images of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, okay. Thank God you're not telling me to Google that. This is how I stay organized. I need a second one of these. Holy crap. So, yeah, I see it. This is like one of those storage facilities. Gear that belongs to rental houses and get rented out is heavily mistreated. Yeah, I figure as much. Kavai says, yo, yeah. For the most part, in a film project, you'll be first CE. What is CE? Creative entertainer, color editor, CE. I'm gonna make it and post a pic on that photo sharing space. I can't right here. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry. I don't know why it would. Why would it be muting the word Instagram? Swiss says, so I am subscribed, LOL, where I keep my gold. Well, thank you very much, Swiss. I do appreciate it. Obviously, I'm only semi-kidding, but with all this gear, would you really miss selling one of these boxes and then just giving me the proceeds? Fed says, is that catering? I see that gear flex playa. Yeah, this is like a flex beyond flex. Jeez. Well, okay. I'm looking at the time. It is now 9:40 p.m. and I need to eat my dinner. And I was mentioning I need to work on some pitch deck stuff. So I need to finish it by tonight / tomorrow morning probably. So I think this is a good place for me to probably say thank you guys. Today was a very fun stream. Actually, today I think, which is kind of ironic because this is the stream that I'm not streaming on Kick, so it was just focused on Twitch and YouTube. But, and also this is the first time I'm using this Atom thing, so probably a coincidence. But today was the most lively in a while in terms of all you fun people in the chat. So lively that I barely got any work done, but that's okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So yeah, thank you guys. It was a very, very fun stream for me. Hopefully you guys were entertained. I might not be streaming tomorrow. I have a few engagements and it just depends when it'll end. But by tomorrow, I will be receiving my Nikon ZR. Ooh, man. So at the very least, if I don't stream tomorrow, I will be spending that time to kind of set up the camera properly. And for tomorrow's stream, it'll be even more high production. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And then I'll try to think about different things we can do. I think we had some suggestions in the chat about, like, especially with Twitch, with the channel points, if there are ways that people can burn the channel points for certain things to occur. So I need to do a bit of research, but yeah, we have some thoughts around it. You'll get work done the rest of the week since I'll be at work. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna do some work after I stop the stream, but this was super fun. Thank you guys. I'm very happy that yeah, we're doing it. We're finally building out a community of, just creative people. That's all I wanted. So yeah, I appreciate that. Enjoy, bro. I gotta run to my next meeting. Do an unboxing. Should I do that? I probably should. But then I wanted to set it up for the stream. So maybe I'll record it. I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. I didn't think it that far ahead. Big stream tomorrow, potentially day after tomorrow with that ZR. Exactly, yeah. Keep a lookout. Join my Discord. I'll obviously give an announcement when I'm streaming and all that fun stuff. We all know you're focusing on your dating life. Yes, thank you very much. You caught me. Good luck and get yours. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I don't know how to turn off the stream now with